Everybody, welcome to 50/50 Booking. I'm your host, Peter. Yeah, I'm always here, as is always the way. Over there, of course, down here, see, here's the name right here. It's Kieran McCullers. So we've got Aaron over there, who's also spouting out on, this is also going on Aaron's Twitch channel, as well as obviously on that.
And I'm a cunt.
And it's a good job I don't have monetization, because that would have just got me demonetized. Okay. You have to go more than 30. You have to go more than a minute without swearing. So on YouTube, if you're monetized,
More than a minute without swearing, I'd be fucked, honestly.
yeah, but the YouTube isn't monetized, so it doesn't actually matter. So
I'd actually be screwed.
the only channel you risk is Aaron's.
Nah, I say count on his channel all the time.
You do realize saying his name is not the same thing, right? Just to be clear.
Well, it is. No, if I've... He's fresh. I love you.
Well, I hope so, because they're getting married. So that would be weird otherwise.
4 months and 2 days.
Yep. Let's be honest. It's not like they're going to marry each other for a green card, because one, that doesn't exist here, and two, they're both born here, so that would be kind of weird.
I can still smell it.
You sure you didn't itch your butt?
Yeah, don't worry, guys. That's not WWE's booking that Kaylee can smell. It's something completely different. So,
I mean, it's on the same level, but...
And check out Aaron OnlyFans, caring too much of colours.
Yeah, it's special content on his paywall.
Yeah, foot pics and... I don't know. Pictures of vegetables.
There's no way to talk about yourself, mate. I'm going to go back to Grey's Anatomy now.
Here comes the bride. Here comes the bride.
If I keep on, there ain't going to be a wedding.
Well, there will be, but it'll be you and Kira instead. And she'll be committing bigamy, but there you go.
I don't think anybody would argue with her, though, to be fair.
Well, they would, unless she becomes a Mormon, as in Kira. Then it's
Sure.
fine. Because you can have as many as you like then.
I'm just going to ring Kira quickly.
Not even going to ask. So how's your week been, Aaron? Lots of fun streams?
Yeah. Been the odd interesting one. Fortnite Ranked came out this week, so I've been playing a bit of that. Minecraft, tried a couple of new things, talked about a new project, and Monday was random as always, which was kind of fun.
Ah, there you go. And then, of course, there was the fun you had this morning.
Yeah. Unlocked 4 of the new killers. So I've got Nemesis from not Final Destination. Resident Evil. A clown that kills people. And Plague, which uses its own vomit to hurt people and infect them, which is kind of funny to watch because it literally just projectile vomits over the other players.
Yeah, for those of you who want an idea of that, see Aaron on a night out.
I've never thrown up on a night out.
I didn't mean you actually doing it, but follow you on the night out. You'll see plenty of Aaron's around plenty of people who will do it.
No, not really. Sometimes there's the odd stray, but
No, there's no way to talk about Kira.
I've never been on a night out with Kira.
It was a joke. But of course, that's just all the fun stuff that obviously Aaron, of course, is counting down those last moments of being like unmarried as well. So, you get any last requests before it happens?
No, not really.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough. Ticked everything off his bucket list.
Skydiving without a parachute,
Isn't it getting married?
practically.
Cool. Now, before we get on to the actual WWE stuff, and we will, I'm going to ask you what you thought about what got announced Wednesday.
Oh, the new Saturday show on AEW.
Yeah.
I knew it was happening, but
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of funny how they didn't include CM Punk in the graphic. Can't imagine why.
Can't possibly comment. But yeah, for those who are unaware, with that show, AEW is sort of going to be doing sort of almost like a brand split of WWE doing. And to be honest, I hate the fucking idea of it. I don't like the brand splits.
Well, you might be interested to know that WWE are looking to possibly start another show as well. Yeah.
They can barely do the ones they're actually running. What the hell?
Well, I heard through the grapevine that they've been looking to start a Lucha Underground version of NXT.
WWE aren't edgy enough to do Lucha Underground.
Yeah, that's exactly my point. But they want to do a luchafied NXT Lucha or something, possibly,
So
with the Latino World Order at the helm of it all.
So for essentially 205 Live.
That
is pretty much what that would be, though.
It would be it'd be 205 Live, but it would be lucha orientated, so it'd be like the WWE Lucha World Champion or something like that.
Yeah, but you just said it. It's WWE, so it'd be 205 Live.
And this is kind of funny because being as we was promised NXT Europe, and instead we're getting possibly NXT Lucha.
Yeah, for those of you wondering, yeah, you can keep wishing for NXT Europe.
Yeah, I think they've just like targeted one of their best-selling merchandise areas and thought, yeah, we could make a lot of money off of that if we made a whole brand about it. Can't imagine who would be the inaugural world champion.
Yeah, that never goes wrong. ECW. So, yeah, again, I'm not a fan of WWE trying to do stuff. If any company could probably get away doing a version of Lucha Underground, it'd be GCW.
Well, the funny thing that you mentioned, that WWE have been on the ball, well, not on the ball as per se, but on the grinding slate of like trying to get a show every day of the week. So far, they've got Monday Night Raw, they've got NXT on Tuesdays, they've got Friday Night SmackDown. But they want a show on Thursdays, they want a show on Wednesdays. And Saturdays and Sundays are like reserved for the live events.
Well, I suspect that's got a lot to do with the impending takeover.
Yeah.
So, because that's usually why that stuff happens.
So they want two new shows to fill up the weekdays. But the funniest part about all of this, and like you could probably agree with me on this, like the fact that they don't stream either of their shows on the WWE network. They don't update NXT weekly, but it's not on the day afterwards unless it's a premium live event. The WWE network is literally just catch up on demand, but it's 2 weeks late.
Yeah.
And
So
like
for
it's
any
not
mod-
worth $9.99.
right, for any current stuff, it's useless.
Yeah. You can watch a pay-per-view and you still be 2 weeks behind on what happened on Raw. And I get that's probably why they still have a kickoff show that has no wrestling on it.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's not worth $9.99 a month.
It's only worth that if you're really invested in the archival stuff. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, I mean, look at Disney Plus, look at Netflix, look at Paramount Plus. If they have a TV series on their thing and a new episode comes out on TV, it's on there either the next day or hours after it's premiered on the TV.
Okay, you brought it up, so I'm going to touch upon this because it's not directly related to wrestling, but I'll mention this. Obviously, you mentioned about streaming, right? Disney Plus's numbers came out for the last 4 months, not too long ago. Do you know what they made?
No idea.
They lost $700 million on Disney Plus,
Ouch.
and that was down 28% from the previous quarter, which was 1.4 billion.
Double ouch.
Yeah. Disney Plus does not make money for Disney. They lose money by actually having it.
I mean, look at the franchises they've purchased, and then they really don't have to ask themselves why.
It's not the purchases that's done it. It's because the fact they've then taken these franchises and flushed them down the toilet.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Most of the base audience of those franchises have walked away from Disney because Disney fucked them up.
Yeah. Star Wars.
Marvel.
I wouldn't say Disney's fucked Marvel completely.
Yes, they have. Yes,
Thank
they
God.
have.
Disney fan over here.
Right, I'm going to tell you right now, apart from No Way Home, right, the Spider-Man movie, every Marvel film that's come out has lost money in the last since Endgame, right? Apart from No Way Home, every Marvel film has lost money. It's not made its money back. A studio can't afford to do that.
Well, then they should not sign on with Disney.
Well, the only reason Disney got Marvel was because Stan Lee passed away, and I think it was his family that decided on the deal, wasn't it? Or was it his lawyers?
Nothing to do with Stan Lee. Stan Lee didn't own Marvel at the time.
Wait, so who owned Marvel? I thought Stan Lee did because it was his concept and his comic book.
No, because another company owned Marvel before Disney owned Marvel. Stan Lee hadn't owned Marvel in about 10 years or so before it got bought originally.
So he was literally just in it for the cameos because he wrote the comics.
Right. It still made money for stuff, but he didn't actually own any of it at that point. I mean, he'd make money off residuals and stuff like that, but doesn't actually own the actual company. But as far as what Kelly's just there, she says she's a Disney fan, right? Okay. That's perfectly fine to be a Disney fan, but from a financial point of view, Disney have royally screwed every franchise they've bought. And the numbers bear this out.
And can we look at the last few movies that they've brought out as well, like Little Mermaid?
That's not out yet.
Peter Pan and Wendy. It's on Disney Plus.
Yeah, but Little Mermaid is not out yet because that's coming out in the cinema. That's coming out in the theaters. It's not out yet.
But it's on Disney Plus.
No, the actual film Little Mermaid isn't actually out yet.
Oh, I thought it was on Disney Plus.
No, Peter Pan is, but the Little Mermaid thing is not because that's actually getting a cinema release.
I swear I saw it in Disney Plus earlier.
The animated ones are on there, but this is a live action one.
Yeah, I'm talking about the live action one because they turned the seagull into a fucking crane.
Yeah,
didn't think
that's
it'd come out.
the trailer.
Oh, is it just the trailer?
I'm looking at it. It's just a trailer.
It's just a trailer. Okay.
I was gonna say because I'm pretty sure that's June that comes out, so or the end of this month. It's one or the other. Because
I've not even watched Little Mermaid, and I used to love seeing the seagull in the advert because it was so funny.
right, but there you
I'm
go.
gonna admit, the new films that they're doing are absolutely shocking.
Yeah, but that's the thing. They can't keep doing that. They are losing money, and you can't keep losing money like that.
Well, I think it's just down to the fact that most of the producers and stuff that they had back when their films were decent have probably kicked the bucket because they were working there
No,
all day so
no,
long.
I know,
Well,
I know. Okay, I know exactly what it is, but this is not the program for that.
Hey, feeling fit? Yeah, we're just talking about Disney Plus and streaming platforms at the moment because of fucking
Yeah,
uh
the WWE
how crap
and
the
AEW stuff.
WWE
Yeah.
network is.
So because
I'm back to great.
you know say you could. I'll say because you know it's AEW do not have a streaming deal.
Good, but then again, they
Mm.
probably do it better than WWE would.
But that's the thing. If they get one, it'll be with Max, which is the Warner Brothers thing, right? We don't get that here.
What about Fight TV? Like that
Right,
kind
but
of
that's
thing, isn't
but
it?
Fight is what does their international stuff. But domestically in the States, it's HBO, Warner Brothers Discovery owns the channels they air on. So if they stream in the States, it would be on Max, which is HBO and Discovery merged as a streaming platform. It's called Max. But that's not available outside of America. Which is why we get things like Fight and most of the HBO stuff and Warner Bros. Stuff you find is on like Netflix and Amazon Prime over here because we don't have Max. For example, the Harry Potter films all just dropped on Netflix a couple of days ago.
What?
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Because we don't get because in the States they're on Max because they're a Warner Brothers project, but we don't have Max here.
What the fuck?
It's the 8 films and two of the Fantastic Beasts films. They all got dropped a couple of days ago.
Oh jeez. Bob. You know, all the Harry Potter films got dropped on Netflix, including the 2 Fantastic Beasts films.
I don't care about Fantastic Beasts.
I didn't know that.
It literally happened a couple of days ago, and it was coming, but it wasn't public knowledge. So, but they appeared a couple of days ago, so I know people got very excited by that. But this goes back to what I was saying before. In the States, that stuff's on Max because it's Warner Brothers, but Max doesn't exist here. So, but other than Amazon Prime and Apple TV, no streaming platform runs at a profit.
Yeah.
And the reason those two do is because of their parent companies. Because they can afford to take those kind of hits. Because they don't make, they do lose money, but the costs can be absorbed because those companies are trillion-dollar companies. They can take that kind of hit.
Yeah.
But you can't keep taking the hits that Disney are taking and Warner Brothers are taking because eventually that's going to run out. You can't do it. But it's just the same thing that happened with Peacock because Peacock is what WWE is on with the States. You can only take because there's a free tier for Peacock in the States, so they get a certain amount for free, like because they get adverts and stuff in their programs, and then there's stuff you pay for. Now, if not enough people pay for that, which I don't think they probably do, honestly, you can have an issue. And with people suffering with the living crisis and stuff, people are being much more picky about where they're spending their money. So they're not going to subscribe to everything because if you subscribe to every streaming service that's out there, it would cost you more than Sky would.
Yeah, and Sky's currently expensive enough for just broadband at the moment.
Yeah, and as is Virgin and stuff. So yeah, exactly. So
we can't have Virgin here because there's no Virgin service on the entirety of the island. They've never bothered to get satellites over it.
Yeah, certain parts of America can relate to this because they don't get certain phone providers and internet providers for the same reason. they don't have them there because other than if you want, I think it's Comcast. The only other option I have is Skylink, and Skylink is expensive as hell.
Well, the only other option we've got on this island is TiVo boxes and Now TV.
Yeah.
Neither of which are very good. I mean, my nan had a TiVo box for since TiVo started, I think, so roughly 20 years.
Yeah, TiVos have been a thing in America for a lot longer, but their TiVo boxes in America are run by Comcast and Verizon and companies like that, so it's a bit different. So, but that's what a lot of that stuff is. It's a case of the streamers don't run at a profit and they lose money. And when you've got big companies who are losing big money for films they put out, that's a problem. Because you can only do that so long as a company before you have to stop. Because most of these big companies have shareholders too, so they're responsible to their shareholders. And when those financial reports come out, those shareholders are going to be, why are we losing this money? And every company has a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders to make money, not to lose it. And you can say what you like about WWE in this regard, because this is where I'll bring it back to WWE. WWE every quarter makes a profit.
I mean, look at DC. DC doesn't make films often, but when they do, they know that they make them properly and they get their money back.
That's Warner Brothers again, my man.
Yeah, precisely.
But they don't. A lot of the DC movies don't make their money back. For example, the Lost Shazam movie didn't make its money back, neither did Black Adam.
Which was kind of shocking, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. It's part of the reason why a certain thing has been added to Fast 10, by the way, for those of you who are interested in seeing that film. There's something's been added to that film because of some of those films failing. I'm not going to say what it is in case anyone doesn't want it spoiled.
Yeah. Thanks for your input.
But for those of you who probably know how to use the internet, you probably know what I'm referring to. But I'm not going to spoil it because I'm not that kind of person.
So we should probably get to the wrestling side of things.
We will do, but I'll say this to anyone watching as well. If you guys have questions about this stuff while we're going on, do feel free to ask because we are here for that sort of stuff. And obviously questions about the wrestling too. But, you know, we're open to all kinds of questions, especially for Aaron's Twitch followers and obviously those of us over on YouTube. But as Aaron rightly points out, we do need to get on with the wrestling stuff as well. But do feel free to interject your questions.
Okay, you're welcome.
Of course, we start with Raw as we always do.
Yeah, and Raw started with a hyped up tag team champions. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn were anxious to get in the ring and get some needed revenge on Reigns and Sikoa. Which it's understandable, being as like what they've been through and like both of their title shots being squandered because of bloodline interference and stuff like that. You can kind of understand why they want to get in the ring with Reigns and like get their pound of flesh, I guess you could say.
Yeah, well, you're exactly right. At least it makes sense. It's not the best. Yeah. It's not necessarily the best build for it, but it at least makes sense. There is a way to make it work.
What didn't really work for me was the fact that the Judgment Day interrupted. I know they've had dealings with the Bloodline in the past, like deals, but it's wearing that storyline a little bit thin, especially being as we didn't see a single member of the Bloodline talk to them beforehand.
Right, which was going to be the point I was going to make about that. You just mentioned it. If you'd had one of them, even if it was just Heyman, at least it makes that bridge and that connection. But
in all fairness, I wouldn't have used Heyman. I'd have used Sikoa because of his past dealings with Damian Priest. There's a mutual respect there.
Right, but I'm making a point though. It doesn't, because if you can't do the wrestling members, you could at least have Heyman do it, because at least then there's someone. Ideally you'd prefer Sikoa, absolutely, and I agree with you.
Heyman would be the most obvious choice, but Sikoa, there's there's a past there. That's the only
Right.
difference. And if you're a wrestling fan and you watch all 3 shows, you know about that.
Right. But of course, but that's the point. They didn't do it. If you'd
No.
inserted one of these people in there, this could have made more sense and worked better.
Yeah.
Which is a good point you make, honestly. I do agree with you.
So, apparently,
But the interesting thing about it all was the Judgment Day came out and basically said that they wanted next after Roman and Sikoa if Sammy and Kevin survived. So this is basically them calling their shot, saying, "Oh, dibs, I want next." Because I mean, they
And that-
haven't had a title shot, and it makes sense.
Yeah, but and this is my big issue with this: the main event.
I was on there earlier,
Yeah.
about an hour ago, and I could not get higher than 10.
We'll get to the main event when we get to it, though. Okay, so we'll do it in
This
order.
segment ended anyway with JD assaulting the champs, and then Finn and Priest. Judgment Day assaulting the champs, and then running from Zayn after he grabbed a steel chair. We didn't get a main event actually announced here or said that was happening or a match made. This segment just ended with the Judgment Day running from the champs because of the steel chair.
So I've made my
Yeah,
So
and you didn't
this
get the
was like
commentators
main
saying
event
anything.
question
Right,
mark.
better to look off 300
Right, but you also didn't get the commentators explain anything that might happen as a result of this. So yeah, I didn't like that. That was not good storytelling.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Oh, if you refresh,
she said,
if you refresh, Katie, it should come up.
On the phone to her,
But thank you for the resubscription. I appreciate that.
Like, no, text Kira first.
What should
Make
refresh?
sure that she hasn't really.
If you refresh the stream on
Oh.
Twitch, it comes up with your resub,
I've just got a basket full
Oh,
of
which
I
is
see.
been a bit
Okay.
dodgy as of late.
Yeah, I'm acting as the dumb person for Twitch because I don't really use it. So that way, for Twitch things like that, I think it was best for me just to say, because that way, if anyone doesn't know who's watching, they know what it is if they encounter it.
Do you want to do rank, or did you want to
So,
just create it?
Next we had Nakamura versus The Miz, and yeah, we both knew who was gonna win this one.
I have a question.
It's not letting me hit you.
Right.
Why?
This came from the previous week when Miz had Nakamura on Miz TV. Nakamura insulted him, and Miz wanted to be in a tag team with Nakamura, turn into Miz K Nakamura, which is tacky as hell and straight up Miz's alley. But Nakamura was not interested, and instead he challenged Miz to a match 1-on-1, and Miz was left kind of scratching his head as if to say, what just happened? And then we got this match this week. They did show a replay before the match.
Right. Okay. I missed the recap thing, but this is why I ask you these things, because obviously, for me as a person, without seeing that recap, I was like, but why?
I mean, Nakamura won. There wasn't going to go any other way unless they wanted this feud to continue. Which it might anyway, because it's WWE. But
yeah, they do like artificially extending feuds longer than they should do. I'm looking at you, Bloodline.
Yeah. Thank you for the 7-month free sub, Katie. I appreciate you.
New sub people, always good, and resubbers.
So we then found out that Liv Morgan had been injured in a tag team title defense against Damage Control on Friday. We was told by Raquel Gonzalez that Liv would be out for a couple of weeks.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
the rest of it, come on.
We'll carry on talking about that
So
later.
It's looking like that we've
Uh,
got
Mhm.
there to see tomorrow.
With this segment, Raquel ended up getting in a singles match with, I think it was
Yes, it's
either
a scary thing.
Bailey or somebody. Oh no, it was
This
Team
match with
Karen
Chelsea
was
Green.
giving her trouble
It's Chelsea
backstage.
Green match later.
Yeah, she got interrupted in this segment by Team Karen, aka Sonya Deville and Chelsea Green. And yeah, that kind of made the match later on in the show. That was followed by a Seth Rollins segment about his history in WWE. We had flashbacks from NXT all the way through to from NXT to the Shield to the Messiah to the Visionary, and obviously they touched on the Architect as well because
Now,
those are some fun days.
did they mention about where he currently is right now?
No, but AJ Styles did on Friday.
Yeah, okay, we'll mention it here anyway, because you might not see a lot of Seth Rollins for a little bit because he's off
Yeah,
being a member of the Serpent Society for Marvel.
yeah. Apparently, he's not there this week, and he's not there next week, and he'll be back for the Saudi show, obviously.
Yeah,
Right, mate.
for those of you who are interested, it's for Captain America 4.
Yeah, it's the new Marvel film.
I ain't ready.
Oh no, this won't be for ages. That's not going to come out until probably next year at the earliest.
From what I've heard, he hasn't got a main role.
Yeah, that's why he's only going to be a few weeks. But the film itself ain't going to come out till at least next year. But also, you've got the writer's strike, which will delay everything as well.
Yeah.
And also, this is the other fun one, people, for anyone who's not aware of this, the Screen Actors Guild have also decided they're going to go on strike in a couple of weeks, which will pretty much stop everything being done.
Yeah.
So there's going to come a point next year where there'll be no movies.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I would notice because I generally don't watch them, but yeah. Or TV shows for that matter, because it affects that too.
Yeah.
So if there's any TV show you currently like that's currently on filming, that's going to get delayed.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
There you go.
911.
If they're currently
911
if they're currently filming, they're going to get delayed
Yeah.
because of the writer's strike, and then also with the actors joining in.
So, what makes me laugh about this is that Rollins has been berating Reigns in past promos about him being a part-timer, and then he's gone and got a role with Marvel.
And Reigns also berated John Cena for doing exactly the same thing.
Hot kettle fucking black.
Yeah. Which you know what that means though, don't you? It means that the next person that's being a film will be AJ Styles, and someone's got to berate him for doing it.
Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like if you're not gonna stick with WWE and you want to go to Hollywood, you really shouldn't work that angle when you're coming up, because it doesn't make sense in the long run. It's long-term storytelling. You just look like you've mugged yourself off.
I genuinely cannot think.
I would also like to correct Aaron. It's Hollywood.
Nicked my basket 3 hours ago.
I thought it was Holly Writerless.
No, you wouldn't know.
Holly Talentless.
Obviously, because I haven't told you.
No, there is some talent. There's some good magicians in Hollywood.
Cups.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's fair.
Starbucks cups.
Also, there may be some really talented. There may be some really talented ladies of the night. I don't know.
I'm not gonna go there.
Hollywood's known for it.
Oh yeah.
So you know.
You're talking about Bleacher Street.
I couldn't possibly comment. If you're gonna go sightseeing in America,
I'd rather go window shopping in Amsterdam.
it's safer. I can tell you that much.
You'd rather go window shopping in Amsterdam?
Yeah. And go to Hollywood.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's safer.
it's safer, and there's weed.
And if you're a weed person, you can partake.
So window shopping in Amsterdam
Yeah,
is
coffee houses.
is safer.
Yeah, they go to Hollywood, absolutely.
Okay. I don't quite understand how you'd think window shopping in Amsterdam is safer considering you've got a fiance.
Well, if you go window shopping, you're not actually doing anything. You're just looking.
Thank you. And you can
In
look good.
Hollywood, they actually try and grab hold of you and try and jump on your dick.
As long as I can walk.
Especially
So,
like contradicts ourselves.
I don't. I very much don't. Like, I don't give a fuck, to be fair.
well, that's not true. Aaron told me different. But anyway.
Well,
Oh, there's another one.
I can do a couple of card tricks, like playing card tricks.
Well,
But,
I can play hide the
not
sausage,
really
but
magic
that's reserved for my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Do you know that's really weird hearing you say that, Peter?
I've gotten
Sorry?
used to it.
It's very weird hearing you say my girlfriend.
Well, what am I supposed to say? My sex partner, my concubine, my succubus. What am I supposed to fucking say?
Your senpai.
Strange. Oh, Kira got it. Okay.
Well, anyway, moving swiftly onwards.
another one.
Yeah, let's escape. Let's escape. Yeah, right.
Kira got that one as well.
Gunther, or
No,
as we
no,
like to
no,
call
you're
him,
right.
Walter,
Yeah.
then came out and announced the Battle Royale for the Intercontinental
It's
Championship
basically
spot.
not
And yeah, that happened. And it was left
Yeah,
down
you're
to
right.
Bronson Reed,
Bronze three.
Dolph Ziggler, I believe, and Mustafa Ali. And
Yeah, you're not
to say the least, it
Did-
ended positive Ali.
I say, did you pick the winner?
No,
I did.
I thought Reed. I thought Reed all day.
I actually picked the winner, but I would have preferred Reed, honestly.
Ooh.
But that's not a knock on Ali. I like Ali.
I
I
think
think
it's
Reed would have been-
because
I
it's
think-
happening in Saudi. He's closer descendants, more of a local talent.
Yeah, but there's also the fact that he's going to lose to Walter.
Yeah, so we'll get more heat on Walter, I guess.
Yeah, so there is that. But I think Reed would be a much better chance because also, from memory, I'm pretty sure Walter has faced Ali before.
Oh shit.
No, they haven't.
Sure, they have.
No,
I've got no long range.
Yeah, that is good.
no, they haven't faced each other. Not in NXT. Not in not in UK. Not on SmackDown.
Oh, they're very, very loud.
Because Ali was on Raw. He wasn't on SmackDown. When Gunther was drafted to SmackDown.
Okay. I wasn't certain, but okay. I still think it'd be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure. I mean, I like Ali anyway, but I do think Reed would have been a more interesting choice. But I get why you'd have Ali.
Oh my god, there's someone else
Yeah.
there. There's multiple.
We then had a very quick, short, and pointless Becky Lynch segment, which was just attention grab and smash.
Are you essentially the whole Becky Lynch thing is basically she challenges Trish Stratus for Night of Champions.
I get it. Both of them have been champions previously, but when this event first came out, it was champions only. Champions and versus challengers. It wasn't like a grudge match between two titleless people, or a grudge match between two titleless women. This just seems a bit silly putting so many titleless matches on the card.
It is, but in Trish's case, I at least understand her being on there because she was for a long time considered probably the greatest women's wrestler, honestly, in WWE history. So I kind of get it in that respect, but you make a good point. Neither of them are champions. You need to. There needs to be a stake to this, right? If you're going to put this on this card, have a stipulation of some kind, or have it be a retirement match or something.
Yeah, I mean, think of. I was thinking the same thing about the Brock Lesnar Cody Rhodes match. I mean, we've seen this already. Why are we seeing it again? And it's got no stipulation. I know Brock Lesnar came out and he was like, I want to fight. And then we've just got a normal match made for no champions. Make it falls count anywhere. Make it like
A
last
cage
man
match.
standing match.
Do something with it, yeah.
Yeah. Hell, like, make it so that way. Be honest, last man standing match would make the most sense. If he wants a fight.
What I would say then, right? If you want to prolong this feud out, which maybe they do, this is what I would possibly do, right? Because I've had a normal singles match, yeah.
It doesn't say what level. What level are you?
Yeah.
Okay? Have this match be a cage match.
Are you trying to make it so it's three stages of hell?
Yeah.
Essentially, but you spread it over pay-per-views.
Fucking hell.
That's if they want to extend this feud, I mean.
Well, I mean, there was a
'Cause then at least
stupid
you
thing
have-
about it.
But at least you have different matches, is my point. And they're not all just normal one-on-ones with nothing to it.
I get that this is a big hurrah for a brand new title. That's a re-establishing event for a past title.
Right. We don't know the chronological line of that belt yet. Because it may be a completely brand new title.
Well, this feels like it's going to be up first. It's going to be over with fast, and Lesnar's going to get a point on the board.
Can you see me?
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
I
be
can
surprised.
hear you.
Also, where is it?
I can't do it anymore.
What?
Where is the event?
Saudi.
Right.
It's okay. I'll shoot at him. And I missed every single
So,
time.
following this, Ali had some positive words of advice for the Alpha Academy backstage, and then as he was walking away, he ran into Walter, and there was some fighting words exchanged, and a little bit of head games. Ali saying that he's going to have to travel all the way back from Saudi, titleless, and stuff like that. But I mean, this was okay. It was a nice little touch, but didn't feel necessary really.
The problem I think with it was too generic.
Yeah.
Because how do I put this? I like Ali as a wrestler, but he's got no character.
I think that's what they've been trying to do with this whole positive Ali thing, but I mean, it's not really working a hell of a lot.
Unless somebody is naturally like that, for example, when he did this with Diamond Dallas Page, because it worked for him because he's naturally a positive person, so I think it's easier. But unless you are naturally that kind of person, that sort of gimmick doesn't work.
I mean, to be honest, I preferred the work that he did as the hacker, because we didn't know who it was, but like that all went up in smoke.
But the payoff was terrible because we got bloody retribution out of that.
Yeah, and Ali's not really recovered since. So I mean, this is his second shot, I guess. And most people don't get a third, so I guess he's just doing the best that he can with it.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll know what will happen if he doesn't sell well with Walter at Saudi.
Shall we do a show?
Let's just say we know what will happen if he doesn't do what he's meant to.
Yeah, or injures Gunther.
So the next actual match I have is is our little friend Dom.
Yeah, this came about from last week, a
Good.
backstage argument between Xavier and Dom, and Ripley accepted this match on behalf of Dominic Mysterio.
If I remember correctly, isn't this a rematch?
Mila?
No, that's coming
I'm-
this week.
I'm sure this is a rematch.
No.
I'm going to check it because I think it is. I think it's happened last week. I actually think it's happened last week. Just bear with me, people, because I can check this. So,
It might have done. I don't really remember it.
yeah, it took place last week as well.
Woods won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. I've got a shotgun or a pistol here for you.
And then they had the argument backstage.
Yeah.
I got my key there.
And yeah, Ripley interfered and got Dominic the win.
Is that you or me?
What's
Yeah.
that?
It's a 50-50 booking.
What's it not?
Yeah. But following that, we had two gentlemen booking themselves into a hospital bed for the night because we had Indus Sher versus two local talents
Are we going to the motherfuckers?
in
Oh, yeah.
LeVar
Hey.
Barbie and
Hey.
Drake Thompson.
I didn't know Indus Share could hurt themselves.
I thought that's how he was coming over it.
The funny thing about this was Corey Graves openly admitted to the fact that he didn't know either of their names because he didn't bother to learn them because he didn't think that they'd be in the ring long enough.
I think that's. I actually like honesty from a commentator.
So,
Yeah, so it was left to Patrick Stewart to announce the names because there was no graphic telling us who they were either before the match.
Patrick Stewart.
Was it Patrick Stewart? I can't remember.
When Patrick Stewart's as the actor Patrick Stewart, so I always just laugh when I hear somebody say Patrick Stewart because I just always assume like Captain Picard from Star Trek.
No, yeah.
Of Xavier from the X-Men because obviously he plays both of them.
I can't believe they got the same name.
It's probably quite a common name, but unfortunately for all the other ones, he's quite famous. So
Yeah.
also a Sir, so there is that. He was knighted. So
Yeah.
it's a shame that he can't actually really act anymore though, without help. But to be fair to the guy, he is in his 90s at this point.
Patrick Stewart is a legend.
Oh, no doubt. I've got no doubt about it at all. Unfortunately, I think he probably shouldn't be really acting anymore because I think he is probably too old at this point. Because when you have trouble remembering stuff, that's a problem.
I think he had his 87th birthday last year.
He's 82. My mistake. I just checked.
I meant 82nd.
Yeah. But the problem is when he acts like he's almost 100.
that's right. You're 69 next week, ain't you, Peter?
I'm always 69.
Same.
Man, if you drove, I'd get that as a bumper sticker for you. Anyway,
In your case, you're 69 with a twist, aren't you, Aaron?
yeah, my
68.
autism adds 2 onto it.
Exactly. Yeah.
1 for each personality. Anyway.
Yeah.
To say the least about this, I think we was all glad that Veer wasn't coming again for 6 weeks.
That was very painful.
Yeah.
For all the guys out there, you know what it's like to try and struggle when you
Yeah, I
can't.
mean,
You need
he
to.
came for 6 weeks in a row, stuck around for 3 weeks beating local talent up, and then went back to NXT. That was a real fucking hype up, wasn't it?
Yeah, for those of you who know what edging is, he got edged relentlessly for 6 weeks.
Yeah. That was creative scratching their heads every week. Should we introduce him this week? Did we book the local talent? Oh shit, fuck. No, just tell him he's coming again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Which really makes you laugh, because back then, Vince McMahon was in charge and he likes big, beefy men, doesn't he? So you would have thought Veer would have come straight away instead of 6 weeks on the trot.
But maybe Vince likes the anticipation.
Yeah, there's anticipation and then there's waiting for a bloody Sheppy bus. That ain't fucking anticipation.
You'll have to explain that for people who do not know what a Shippy bus is.
Okay, well, buses here in Sheerness, they have timetables. They just don't elect to listen to said timetables. I've waited 3 hours for a bus to Sittingbourne, and vice versa from Sittingbourne to Sheerness.
They turn up when they want. They turn up when they want. Oh yes, they turn up when they want.
I mean, that's literally not only Sheerness though. We could probably just say a Kent bus, to be honest. Because I've waited 4 hours in Maidstone for a bus back to Sittingbourne.
I think it depends where in Kent you are, because on the London side of Kent, it's not that bad, and on the east side of Kent, I've not found it to be too bad either. But basically, in the Medway section of Kent, it seems to be terrible.
Yeah.
I have gone.
What makes me laugh is I've got a disabled bus pass, and I can't use my bus pass in Medway because it's only valid in Kent.
I have a question for you. You got disabled bus pass, then clearly you can't use it because it's disabled.
No, if I go to Gillingham or something on the bus, I have to pay for the ticket. I have to pay for the bus ticket out.
No, you don't.
I have in the past. I've literally gone to Medway and they've asked me to pay for my ticket.
Well, you shouldn't have to.
I have.
You used the bus pass for when we was in Hereford.
Oh, I'm getting confused. Sorry, that was back when I had a Kent Freedom Pass.
I was going to say, to be fair, what it probably is, if you could use it in Hereford, it's probably because people in Hereford can't read.
Wow.
Motherfucker, there you are.
They probably just saw a picture and go, "Oh, it's you. That's all right then."
So, obviously, Indus-Sher won their re-debut on Raw match.
Yeah.
So obviously, this isn't the first time they was on Monday Night Raw. This is the second time they've been on the red brand.
Yeah, this is not a debut.
Well, obviously, Sanga
Yeah.
got injured, went back to NXT.
You
Veer
such bitch.
debuted on the main roster.
Eventually.
Jinder Mahal went back to NXT, and then they all went out for a drink and probably got branded back to Raw.
Yeah.
Because for their stay in NXT, they didn't really do much on that brand. There was no tag title. There was barely any matches. And then they was just shot back straight up to main roster.
They seem to spend most of their time in the performance center, honestly.
In all fairness, that'd make sense if we'd actually seen them in action and like a decent storyline in NXT. But I say, out of all the people that got drafted from NXT to Raw or SmackDown, these are the least this is the team that we've seen the least of.
I would argue the people that got shafted from NXT.
Yeah.
Drafted.
Okay, they stopped shooting fireworks. Right, what's happened?
I think it's a case of they were at the performance center and the trainers were like, "We can't teach them anything else. Can you get them out of here all fucking ready?"
Quite possibly.
But yeah. Anyway, after that, we had an Imperium segment with the tag champs. Basically, Walter strode up to the champs in the locker room and just stood in front of them. Kevin looked at him and was just like, "Okay, well, what the fuck is this? Like, what the fuck's going on? Like, I've had enough. Do you guys want to fight? Because we'll fight you. We'll fight you next week.
Shall we take rank off then?
We'll fight you in a 6-man." And they said, "That's fine." And then Walter ranted on about the disrespect that they showed to his men last week when they beat him in a tag match that Imperium kind of asked for. So anybody fucked up, it was kind of Vinci and Kaiser, let's be honest.
Yeah, but you're a heel. You can do stuff like that. It's fine.
Yeah. So yeah, 6-man mate for next week, and Kevin and Sammy have to find a partner. I wonder if Riddle's busy taking pictures of his. Stop taking picture of his for 5 minutes and be able to tag. No.
I'm not saying. You know what it means if I don't say something.
I was watching. I was like, "Is she gonna?"
Makes me laugh though, because he was in the Battle Royale
I was like, "Is she back?"
for the Intercontinental Championship spot.
So,
Yeah.
So I didn't think he'd be on TV. Not with the heat that he's got up his arse at the moment.
Yeah, but you know, it's of course he didn't win the Battle Royal.
I think we should do like not.
He was out pretty early, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, so I wasn't. I had no idea when we was.
I can't even remember who he got eliminated by.
That's kind of the point right there.
Yeah. Would have made sense if he'd eliminated himself, to be honest.
Go down well.
No.
I mean, you can do that in a Battle Royal. You can't do it in the Royal Rumble, though.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Well, you can jump over the top rope.
No, it's actually not an elimination in the Royal Rumble if you do
I
that.
genuinely thought that you was running somewhere.
It's in the rules. You have to be thrown or propelled.
We're just doing another later.
You can't actually eliminate yourself in the Royal Rumble. You actually can't do it.
Well, they fucked up a couple of times there then.
Oh yeah, they have absolutely. But in the actual rules for it, it says you have to be thrown or propelled.
Yeah.
Did you say Katie had to?
So following that, we had a Cody Rhodes segment, which was okay. We was told a story about the Scorpion and the Frog.
Toad.
He said Frog.
Yeah. Well, the actual story is the Scorpion and the Frog.
I'm dropping.
And for those of you unaware of this story, it comes from the Bible. It's a religious
Well
story.
done.
It's at Sunday school.
Oh,
Yeah. So he basically came out, told us that story, and re-accepted the challenge because it was in his nature to not back down from anybody, apparently.
Yeah. Which is the purpose of that story, for those of you who are unaware of the purpose of that story.
Yeah, he took credit for the damage to Lesnar's face as well and said this wasn't about ego. This was about who was the big thing on Monday Night Raw, and Lesnar was just in his way.
That would be Vince, by the way.
What?
The big thing on Monday Night Raw, that would be Vince McMahon.
so I'm on season 11.
He owns the company, so you can't say I'm wrong.
Did he cheat on her?
He did cheat on her.
He did.
With his
Yes, he
fellow.
did. He did. He cheated. Yes, he was very dirty and filthy. He cheated.
He did, Peter. She has his
So,
in DC.
following that, Stark was caught picking on Nikki Cross after she beat her last week in her debut.
I know he should be with.
And Candice LeRae took exception to that and got in a match and got a match with Stark next week out of it.
I'm assuming
as a result.
The bitch.
Hey, it's NXT again.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen these two go at it in NXT, so it should be a good match. But there's a difference between an NXT match and a Raw match, especially in the women's division. So this will probably get 5 minutes next week.
Yeah, if this gets what it should get, then it'll be a decent match. But that ain't going to happen, is it?
Yeah. Speaking of women's matches on main roster, we had Raquel Gonzalez versus Chelsea Green.
Segway.
Yeah, a good match, to be honest. Raquel got the win, but Green had a really good showing, which isn't a surprise, really.
It should not be a surprise to anyone.
Devastates me.
Yeah, I mean, this is a woman who has a shit gimmick, but was originally compared to Charlotte Flair in her debut.
Like just thinking about.
So, like, she's got the athleticism, she's got the strength,
I can't
got,
honestly.
It's like the shooting
She's-
episode.
she's the whole package really. It's just she's been given a shit gimmick.
Chelsea Green has. There's something specific
Oh,
Chelsea
fuck.
Green definitely has to
You're
have a
right,
Charlotte.
haven't you?
Chelsea Green can actually talk and he's good at it.
Yeah.
I've got no guns.
All I meant was she's been compared to Charlotte Flair in the athleticism department.
Which is a fair comparison, but when it comes to promo, they're not even close.
No, Chelsea's gold on the mic.
Yeah.
Charlotte's wake me up when it's over.
Average. On the low side of
Okay.
average.
You're being nicer than I thought you was going.
Well, no, because she can do a promo, but it's very much in one meticulous tone and it never deviates from anything whatsoever.
Yeah, but I feel that's more her condescending nature than it is.
Well, that's my point. She hits her marks that she's supposed to do, but she can't do an actual promo. 'Cause, for example, if she had to do an unscripted promo, I don't think she could do it.
I don't think she has the emotional aspect of it, really.
But that's my point.
But I
That's
mean,
what
that's just from what we've seen.
Yeah, but that's why I think that's why her promos are that way. They're always on that one level.
I mean, if she's willing to try and like prove us wrong, I'm all for it. I'd like to see like an emotional side of her, but like I don't think it's ever going to happen.
If
Some
you give
people
her-
just have a switch when they go professional, and Charlotte Flair's one of them people.
some people just can't do unscripted promos as well. So there is that. Some people actually need to have their promos written for them.
It just absolutely
Yeah.
kills me.
We then had a second part of Rollins' interview, talking about like his more recent stuff, and then that ended on a cliffhanger, which will be answered next week, which was what Rollins felt
I've not
of
really watched
Reigns'
that one,
title
that-
run as Universal Champion.
Oh, I can guess that already, but
Literally,
Sorry.
I don't want to spoil next week, kids.
Oh, it's been pre-recorded anyway because we both know where he is.
Yes, I also know what his answer is anyway. That was kind of the joke. So, and as we pointed out earlier, we both know what he's doing right now. So, and we told you guys too, if in case you didn't know.
So following that, we had Damian Priest and Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in a non-title match. To be honest, the way that they're working this at the moment, this match, if like this was a win, so that's a title match in my eyes. Judgment Day gets a title match next week, and then they have to fight Reigns and Sikoa thingy, because I mean that makes sense to me because Sammy's Syrian descent, and
That would have been my argument for this week. Why was this not a title match?
yeah, that's my train of thought as well.
Yeah,
Because we're going to see this again this week for the titles. That makes sense, and we can see them losing.
I mean,
yeah,
I'll be very interested as to what happens if Sammy actually goes.
Yeah, unless he gets injured and can't compete there.
Yeah,
But then what Kevin's supposed to do?
that's where it's a bit of an iffy thing. So if they're gonna have them just leave the belts anyway before they go, they could have just done that here and it would have been fine.
Yeah. Then have a rematch for the belts if Priest and Balor beat Roman and Sikoa.
Oh shit.
so much for it.
But yeah,
But
Imperium.
I was going to say, sorry, before we go on, but as anyone who knows me is very well aware, I do not want Roman being a tag champion as well as holding both those other belts.
No. So, on top of this,
Bloody winner.
Heyman came out about a third of the way through the match.
Yeah, that's it.
Was watching on for quite a while on the phone to who we could only presume to be Roman Reigns.
Right.
And then the match carried on for a bit, and then Imperium was ringside.
Damn.
They got involved, caused a distraction, which got Priest and Balor the win.
Do 1 to 120.
Right. And that's exactly why
And we know it's your uncle.
he could have been there early to have done the segment with Judgment Day. Because he was there.
Unless he arrived late, in which case.
Possibly. But it still had. But you still could have just then done that segment later if you knew he was coming.
I'd say fashionably late, but he wears the same suit every week.
Yeah, you would.
Only thing I would say is, specifically with Heyman, Heyman's always early for television. I know this is something that's common knowledge, by the way.
Yeah, of
So
course.
he would have been there.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be there.
Even when he shows up in the car later on in the show, in the segments, he's got in the car, like, outside of the gates. He's been there, waited, so it looks like he's arrived, but he's been there the whole time.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy who used to run ECW, so he likes to know what's going on, like, every minor detail. He doesn't want to be left out of the loop anywhere.
Yeah, and he just won't pay his wrestlers. But other than that, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you best go on with the match. I did interrupt you. Sorry.
No, I've covered the match.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's how much I thought it was. So you need to give us a rating for Raw then.
I gave it a 5. Oh no, sorry, no, I didn't. I gave it a 7.
Okay.
I gave it a 7 because the Ali thing was a bit of a surprise. All the matches were good. Just the segments were just hit and
Nah.
miss.
That's fair enough.
This is all
So-
done.
So that, of course, ladies and gentlemen, brings us to NXT.
Yeah. And the continuation of the NXT Women's Championship title tournament picture. And first round match was Cora Jade versus Fallon Henley.
Yeah.
While
I mean-
you do that, I'm getting up.
Great match, unsurprisingly, because of the role that Fallon's been on as of late as a tag team champion. Obviously, reiterating into singles competition now, so there was going to be a little bit of rust. Because obviously, there's a lot less cardio in a tag match, depending on who your partner is, I suppose.
Well,
But
how you wrestle a tag match is different, so yeah.
But yeah, she had a great showing, but of course Cora Jade won because
It's 240.
look who's in the other bracket and tell me this isn't obvious.
The 26th
No,
one.
is it?
That's genuinely actually boy.
Yeah. So yeah, Jade won and advanced to the, is it semi-final or final? I believe it's the final.
I think so.
No, it's not. It's the semi-final. There's 2 singles matches this week, and then the next premium live event for NXT is when they decide the champion.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's me wanting to be over quickly. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So following that, Schism jumped Wesley and Tyler Bate in the locker room before their tag team match.
Yes, if I remember, it's actually.
And Gacy said that the friendship was fake. Their friendship was fake. This interrupted the scheduled tag team match between Gulak, Dempsey, and Bate and Lee. And it got cancelled by management because Bate was injured.
That's what we want to do this.
There is a tag match that involves them, but it happens later on with 2 different people.
Yeah, I was just about to get onto that. We then saw Trick and Mello barge past Gulak and Dempsey in the hallway, basically shoving them out of the way, like treating them like they weren't even there. Trick and Mello came out to the ring, called out Braun, and instead, Dempsey and Gulak came out and they said they'll give them a tag match if that's what they wanted. And it all broke down, and this became what I thought was going to be our main event. But no. So this was followed instead by the Creeds versus the Dyad. It was for a
Again.
future tag title opportunity.
Yeah, again, by the way.
Yeah, and the Creeds won
Yeah.
again, by the way.
Mhm.
And yeah, I mean the match was great. Didn't have a problem with the match, but this has happened 3 times in the past 5 weeks, I believe.
Yes.
Something
That's
along
why
those lines.
Yes, but that's why it's again.
Guess what?
What?
It's life.
Okay. So is WWE booking.
I thought you went back Kira. Okay.
Miss Karen showing her boobs again. So then we had the NXT stateside debut of Supernova Sessions. This ended with Dragon Lee getting a Heritage Cup match with Noam Dar and a normal match with Nathan Fraser and Noam Dar getting a normal match with Nathan Fraser next week. Not got a problem with this. I mean, Noam Dar versus Fraser, we've seen it before. They've got a bit of a grudge. Well, they've got one's got a grudge with the other. Let's be honest. Fraser's never liked Dar. Dar's never given a shit about Fraser, but Fraser's come up.
Who won?
Come up.
You won Kira's giveaway.
Why? What?
You know the giveaway she was doing?
Okay.
You won it.
Cool.
You sound overwhelmed.
I don't know what to do. I don't usually win stuff.
Surprise, motherfucker!
Yay. So
He is excited, really, people. Really, he is. He just hides it very well.
yeah, I'm just getting sensory overload right now.
Yeah. I know. I can tell.
Yeah. So yeah. What was I talking about?
We were talking about the fact that Creeds and the Dyad had 3 matches in the last 5 weeks.
No, I've already talked about that. It was on about Supernova Sessions because
Oh yeah, Dragon Lee and Fraser. Yeah.
yeah.
Dragon Lee's having a heritage match and Fraser's having a normal match. That's where we got up to.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you all for coming, and I shall see
So yeah, Fraser and Noam Dar have got a rivalry back from NXT UK where Fraser's come up twice on Dar, but Dar's never put his Heritage Cup on the line against Fraser. Well, actually, no, he did once, and he got the win, but it wasn't clean because he had a certain Shah Samuels in his corner.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, it should be interesting to see them two actually have a match again, and then Dragon Lee also facing Dar for the Heritage Cup at some point. Hi, Carol. Welcome in. Thank you for the raid.
Yeah.
So So that would lead us on to the tag match we talked
Well, I've
about
got a
before.
very
wouldn't it?
green one.
Mm,
Like that.
yeah, we had no, it wasn't. We had a Dijak and Dragonov segment, and they seemed to be getting to know each other. Dragonov challenged Dijak to break him, and Dijak tried, asked him if he'd had enough. Dijak literally smiled and said, "Not even close." Not gonna lie, this seemed a little bit perverse to me.
For the
I deliberately skipped over this because I thought it was stupid and pointless.
Yeah,
Is that what you get into the?
wasn't the last part of it either.
No.
Um,
Right, I'm gonna put headphones in and I'm gonna put you on my laptop.
then we had Mello and Trick versus Dempsey and Gulak. I thought this was our main event, but no, it was put mid card instead. It was a good match. A win for Mello and Trick, which was not a surprise. Mello called out Breaker, and he had a video message from him from down the corridor in the office barbers.
Can you hear me?
This was alright, I suppose. Nothing special, really.
One word. Daddy.
Honestly, didn't like it.
I don't know. So, following that, we had Thea Hale versus Kiana James. Thea had a new look and something to prove as she wasn't involved in the title picture. Hale looked great in ring until James took control after a missed splash, but the two continued to go back and forth. But the 401k got a loss for Hale.
Radio presenter.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't have a problem with James winning this match. The only thing I did low-key have a problem with was the way that she won. It was clean, and she's heel.
It's okay for a heel to win a match clean if there's a reason it happens.
Also,
But if you're just rebounding somebody, which is clearly what's happened with Fierce, she's got a look and strong proof saying, I mean, explain then why are you doing that and having to lose?
No, I'm really putting.
well, it's not only that. How long has Hale been in NXT now?
It's been a while. That's for
say
sure.
18 months minimum.
I think it's nearly two. I was going to say it's about 2 years. I think.
Away from keyboard. But yeah, and how long's Kiana James been there? Surely Hale should be getting a little bit better treatment, maybe a title shot here or there, or at least a mention in the title picture, but instead you've got Hale outside of the title picture and Kiana a previous tag, she was in the title picture last week. She lost her match against Valkyria.
I'd actually do the same.
But Hale wasn't in it, and she's been around longer.
The only thing I can think of is they clearly think more of James than they do of Hale.
I've ordered my provisional because of.
But look what Hale's been given. She was given a university gimmick.
I never said it was a good thing.
Well,
I never said they were right or that it was good or anything. But I'm just assuming that's probably what it is.
She's been stuck with it for 18 months.
Sure.
So,
yeah, I gotta go home new one.
following that, we had a mutual respect segment again between Hank and Briggs and Jensen. Briggs and Jensen suggested that if they wanted to get closer as a tag team, they should do a one-on-one match between the two of them to help them bond as that's what happened with Briggs and Jensen. They had the first singles match, and then they went to the pub afterwards, got into a bar fight, and have been friends ever since. So, I mean, I can understand them saying, like, maybe you two could glue more if you did what we did. But they didn't make the match themselves. That match was scheduled.
Was there yesterday. Up in the granddad, so
I mean, they're making this match for next week, and I've got a feeling that this tag team's probably just going to implode, and they're just going to be like big ass rivals with each other for like weeks.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happens, honestly.
Obviously, I have looked at size.
I mean, if they do it the other way, then that's fine. But I doubt it.
And it goes from.
I feel sorry for the commentators as well, because they've got Tank and Hank against each other in the ring.
Not saying a word.
Do you like it, though?
I like it a lot.
Thank you, Peter, darling.
You're welcome.
I know it's my wedding, but do you like it?
So Wesley then came to the ring angry, and he was,
You don't
well,
like it.
say angry, he was pissed, and he stated that he was pissed. Gacy responded by saying he wanted Wes's title at Battleground. Tyler was watching from medical and had heard enough. Came out to the ring. Bate came out with a truth that he wanted a shot at the title too. Wes did what Wes always does and challenged both of them to a triple threat at Battleground.
Sure.
I mean, this wasn't bad. Like, there was a little bit where Wesley looked at Tyler and said, "I trusted you." Sadness.
I mean,
So it kind of seemed like Gacy was right about Tyler, but at the same time, they're there for championships.
Oh no, you said it automatically makes it look bad.
So, what did you think was going to happen?
What's funny though, you've got Wesley challenging everyone to triple threat matches when they challenge him for belts, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And to make it look impressive when people want to challenge him. Then you've got what's happening with Orange Cassidy right now in AEW.
Yeah, it seems like a little bit of anything you can do, I can do better moment.
Yeah. It was kind of funny though. That's what it reminded me of, though. That's the thing. These remind me of each other.
Oh yeah.
See it. It's too dark.
So this was followed by another Von Wagner segment.
Joy. The joy we feel, hey.
Wagner actually stood up for Stone this week and got himself a match with a guy that he assaulted the week before and was trying to pick on Stone to press charges against him. Even though this is like a wrestling company and he literally just put his hands on him, this was bare minimal assault. Don't be backstage if you don't want to get like accidentally knocked over or grabbed by a superstar every once in a while.
I would also argue when it comes to booking in professional wrestling, don't bring in real life things like assault and these sort of things into it, because that gets people asking questions and it helps removes that suspense of disbelief you need to have when you watch a wrestling show.
I can avoid it.
But yeah, we still haven't got answers as to what this whole picture is about. Like with the child in a hospital bed with the cranial scars either side. I mean, we could guess that it's Von Wagner, but without looking into it ourselves, we're not going to find out, and I don't want spoilers. So
no, you're not causing problems. Shut up.
But it's been like almost 5 weeks now, and there's like we're literally just seeing this picture over and over again, and I'm just going to be relieved when it's over.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
I am figuring it out. Right as we speak.
Yeah. Following that, we had Roxanne Perez versus JC Jane in the Women's Championship tournament match, semi-final. No, not semi-final, quarter-final round, first round, whatever. It was a great match. Perez advanced, unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
Gigi then came out and attacked Jane again, unsurprisingly. Could have told you how this was going to end.
But I think
It
everyone knew that's
leaves
the end.
Cora Jade versus Perez in one round.
On one side,
Uh,
yeah.
No, sorry, it's not. It's Cora Jade versus Valkyria on one side.
Right. And Perez against.
Stratton on the other.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, then you've got the final, which will probably be Perez versus Cora Jade.
Well, let's see what happens.
Because I mean, they're not going to waste an opportunity to go full circle like that, are they? The most obvious outcome.
WWE booking is all I'm going to say.
Oh yeah, that one. Good times.
You lie. But that's essentially it for NXT anyway.
No,
Yes.
no,
Yes.
no. Trick and Mello came back out after that match, called out Breaker again, and before that continued, we got another Dijak and Dragunov segment, and Dragunov was being beaten bad by Bollard.
This
I
one,
can't remember what they're called, what the police carry. And the baton.
Baton will work as the word. You can call it a baton because it is.
like a free
Yeah. Dijak thought he'd won and had a smile on his face, but Dragunov stood up and said that he was still standing. Not gonna lie, I kind of like these segments, but they were really perverse and weird in a way.
honestly.
I'm
I'm interested to see where it goes, because I mean, if these two team up as a tag team, that's gonna be some brutality.
Yeah, I'm not like you. I did not like them. I didn't. They had no point.
Yeah.
I can see this going one of two ways. Tag team I'd actually like to watch.
She's not gonna.
Mhm.
And
I don't think that dress.
Last man standing match at Battleground.
Which is fine if it actually had a point to these segments, which there wasn't one. And that's my issue with them. They didn't actually do anything storyline wise. They were just there.
I think it did. It kind of worked on not their rivalry, but the relationship between the two of them.
I think she'd look really
Like,
good in it. I think it's slightly
It built.
similar to
It felt like they were kind of trying to build bridges.
That's cute. That's adorable.
Yeah, as I said, I was not a fan of them, but you know, if it works for you, it works for you. But
So I like both of these guys. So, I mean, I can't really. I can not like it, but it's hard for me to.
I don't think I'm a massive fan of the first one you said.
that's fair enough.
But the second one is.
So
well,
after that, Mello was still waiting in the ring.
Yeah, this is the thing as well. This is why I said after the women's match that was it, because I did not like these end sections to this show.
No, and finally Breaker arrived, but Bron brought security to keep Mello safe, apparently. Mello said Bron was untouchable until he got touched by Mello. Really poor choice of words. But this all ended with another brawl. The security took Trick away, and just as Bron was about to take out Mello, Mello went low and hit Bron with the title to leave him laying in the middle of the ring. To me, this just screams Bron's getting his title back at Battleground.
It also screams, who's the heel? Who is the face? We ain't got a fucking clue.
And you could say that Mello's a smart face, but then I don't like him.
You could
say
throw that at Breaker as well, though, because of the way this is being done. This is stupid. You need to make it
but
very
who does
clear.
the crowd boo for more?
Yeah, that's what the crowd cheer for. But as WWE, you have to know how you're trying to book these people, and the way WWE book is they book in a face and a heel. They don't do the tweener thing. The way they book. But at the moment, the way they're booking these two is you haven't got a clear one or the other, so you're kind of screwing it up and making it
I think Problems in frilly dresses is
Making
the
it
way
hard.
to go.
making it less likely for me to actually give a shit, honestly.
Yeah, I suppose.
But ultimately, the fans will cheer who we want to cheer for because we all have our favourites, right?
Yeah, and they can pump whatever audio they want into an arena or the NXT stands.
And they
Not
have done,
gonna change anything.
Also, that silver one is very similar to.
and they have done, and they would do again in the future. Well, that is NXT because I don't want to talk about NXT anymore.
I do mean that one.
I gave NXT a 6. Generous 6.
I give NXT 2 fingers. Because I honestly was not impressed by NXT at all.
2 fingers is your specialty, isn't it?
No, that's my specialty.
A whole fist? Fucking hell.
Yeah, that's for people that piss me off. So yeah, so anybody who gets in my way at that wedding.
I found it. I found what I'm putting her in.
I'm not saying a word. I'm gonna keep that comment to myself. Right.
Aaron's face is like, no, bitch.
It looks like she's going to a gender reveal for a potty plant.
Oh, there are other options.
Well, I hate to break it to you, Kaylee, you're a female.
I am a female, Peter, yeah.
Exactly. Gender revealed. Ta-da!
Yeah, she's a female.
You're a cunt.
Is that a cunt reveal?
I can't keep my eyes off for that one. That was just like,
Wait, is she on my side or your side of the invites? My side. She's got Webley.
no, because she's a bridesmaid, so she's got to wear silver or white.
Okay, what is the argument?
To be fair, we could put her
What
in
Claire's
light
wearing for the wedding?
Oh, I see.
We could put her in light blue.
I have
Put
a
her in
question.
silver with, like,
Okay,
with blue highlights.
I have a legitimate question.
Claire
Okay,
looks dirty.
what will she
And what's the
tolerate
colour?
wearing?
Blue, silver highlight.
That's what I said, like, we could do cream with, like, silver belt or something, or blue, or...
Kaylee.
Yes, Peter.
Yeah, don't you think you should also bear in mind what Claire will tolerate wearing?
Oh, if she gets dirty, she gets dirty, as long as the pictures are taken first.
Well, you lot better make sure that doesn't happen then, eh? Right. So,
Yeah, she done great at, oh, fuck, what's your name? What's your name? I wasn't going to call you that. Your name just... yeah, she done great at Kira and Ben's wedding. How did I forget your name?
anyway,
Okay,
we're
okay.
going to head on to SmackDown because, of course, we are. And we get to talk about one of Aaron's favourite things in the whole wide world.
Definitely doesn't
This was probably the best show of the week.
said about it earlier.
Which involves your favourite tag team as well. Aaron's favourite tag team of all time. He loves them so much. He couldn't wait for them to come back onto television and actually wrestle.
So we're not talking about the opening segment then?
Your dress in the blue colour.
Oh no, I just like
I
as anyone who watches the show regularly knows I like to have a bit of fun with you when it comes to Pretty Deadly.
So do the Brawling Brutes, apparently.
Yeah. But sure, you can talk about the opening section if you want.
So, kind of a wedding, not a fucking funeral.
Whose funeral?
That looks like she went to a wedding.
Peter.
That looks like she went to a wedding and they didn't clean up before they opened the doors, so she's literally just walked around the room and picked up all the fucking dust.
That was just like a jokey one, babe.
Look
Do you
how
know what
dark the bottom is.
Do you know what that legitimately looks like? Okay. You know, in the toilets, you have those things you put over the toilet rolls.
You need to give me my phone back because it's got stuff for you on it.
That's pretty.
What one?
The blue one.
It looks like one of those things you put over toilet rolls to hide them.
What, that one down there?
Mm.
He likes it in dark blue.
He
Yeah.
likes it, does he?
Horrible.
What? Does look like scrunched up toilet paper.
It looks like a
Oh my
toilet roll.
god, if she wore blue, she looked like a wet paper towel.
Oh shit, hang on. Right. I've taken my headphones off. You are live in the Big Brother house.
Please swear.
Get your mood out, get your mood out, get your mood out for the lads. Get your mood out for the lads. I'm not saying tits, just like she's like a sister to me, so I don't want to see her tits.
Well, Kaylee does.
Babe,
Yeah, it's just I'm not even going to gloss over that because it's true,
babe.
and they see each other. They see each other on the daily anyway.
Bombastic side-eye.
And for those of you who want to check out that content, check out Kaylee's Twitch channel. Anyway.
Miss not so caring. Anyway,
Yes.
so SmackDown was opened by Roman, Sikoa, and Heyman, which wasn't a surprise as last week they decided to try and get the tag titles at night. Decided to announce that they were going to go for the tag titles at Night of Champions.
Yes.
The Usos seem to be embarrassed about that as well, as they should be, because they got called the second best tag team of their generation, in history.
Okay, my darling.
To their relatives, even though they've held more titles. Yeah. Kaya and Sammy came out. Roman said, "Thanks for coming. Now acknowledge me," and drop the titles off and get out. KO dropped his mic and the titles, and he said he didn't want to talk.
Wait, me, lads.
Roman said he didn't want to talk either to Kevin Owens, and then pointed at Sami Zayn. Said the one thing he regretted in his whole career was allowing Zayn in the bloodline. Zayn followed up with the one thing that he regretted his entire career was not blasting him with a steel chair sooner.
Yeah.
And that he wasn't going to get the tag team titles. Sammy said that Roman wasn't as good as they were, and the team of Sikoa and Reigns wasn't as good as the Usos. But then, after he said that, Roman went to say something, and he seemed to have lost his temper, so we would have probably seen like an off the rails Roman promo, which would have been interesting. We got the Usos jumping Sammy and Kevin from behind. And Reigns was angry about it and turned around and accidentally walked into Sikoa, which got a bit of a ooh from the crowd. So just like, oh, tension. Can they coexist, even though they're supposed to be on the same side?
Also, there's been no actual tension, so what the hell?
Yeah. Um, and then, to be honest, Reigns looked a little bit scared of Sikoa. Not that you can blame him after the Rampage and wins that he's stacked up.
Well, to be
But
fair to Reigns, he's supposed to be obviously like the arrogant champion stuff, but showing slight fear to people who may possibly be out to take the belt off you is a wise thing, even if it's Sikoa. So I actually understand why you do that. It makes sense. It also gives you a storyline possibility too.
yeah. So yeah, before Roman could verbally retaliate, the Usos jumped him. Reigns wasn't happy. He left. And that left the Usos and Sikoa standing in the ring. Then they came back from an ad break, and Reigns was angry because he didn't get what he wanted to say. To be honest, I was a bit disappointed that we didn't get to hear what he was going to say too. And he threw the Usos out of the Bloodline locker room. I mean, this wasn't a bad start to the show, but it was almost 20 minutes, including the advert.
Too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. Far too long. If
You,
you're going to do this, shorten it.
to make matters more or less worse, I think we're getting the same thing next week because there's a Kevin Owens show segment featuring special guests Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa.
Of course.
So we're going to get a replay of this next week.
Because they have no concept of how to actually build up a feud without having stupid talk show segments.
Yeah. Following that, we had Brawling Brutes versus Pretty Deadly.
Aaron's favourite tag team in action.
I'll give them credit where credit is due. Pretty Deadly had a decent entrance. They had a John Morrison-esque entrance with the slow-mo. But it just showed that they're inexperienced because they looked stupid doing it.
Yeah,
They
because the thing,
didn't really
with
know
that-
what they were doing.
right, that's the thing with that entrance, right? You are supposed to look stupid to a certain extent doing that entrance, but it's how you look stupid.
No, when John Morrison did it, he used to always look cool.
He looked like a tosser, but it was the right kind of tosser.
Yeah, whereas these two look like a couple of washed-up Brits that got lost on holiday.
That's kind of my point right there. Morrison knew how to do it in a way where, yeah, he was still a dick and he looked fucking stupid, but he made it work for him. That's the difference here. These two didn't, and it looked dumb.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say, Aaron, but your favourite tag team looked dumb doing this entrance.
Oh, I know they did. They really let me down.
Yes, I know. You're devastated. You're going to cry into your pillow. I know.
Yeah. But what made this interesting? What made this better was Sheamus was on commentary for the whole thing. Didn't have a problem with that, like that, because hearing Sheamus, especially him hassle Wade Barrett, is always fun.
Well, they're old friends, so yeah, that's always a bit of fun to have.
I liked how he got onto the announce table and Barrett straight away asked him if he'd been to the pub yet. I was like, okay, we're going there, are we?
I think that's a sensible question to ask Sheamus, honestly.
But yeah. Anyway, the match. Butch wasted no time, as you'd expect, going for the digits of Pretty Deadly, and stamping on a few fingers here and there. But after Ridge came in, Deadly took control. It went back and forth for a little while, but a bit of a sneakiness from Pretty Deadly got them their SmackDown debut win.
Yep.
Sheamus didn't look too happy about it, but I mean, who's to expect him to? They just got beaten by a couple of Jersey boys.
Yeah. But luckily for us, Aaron was delighted by this because Aaron's favourite team won a match and he's so happy.
And the House of Black aren't on WWE. They're not even in my top 3.
Well, the House of Black.
No, Pretty Deadly.
Okay, for those of you unaware, the joke is Aaron does not like Pretty Deadly. That's the joke.
I'm not a fan of stereotypes. Or cringy
know.
shit, and they're both.
I know. That's why it's funny. But yeah. Speaking of cringy shit, what happened after the Asuka Vega match?
I was going to touch upon something else first. 'Cause
Yeah,
there
but
was
that-
a segment
yeah,
and
I'm
moment.
but I specifically didn't talk about cringy shit. But we will get to that in a bit. But that was fucking cringy.
What, we found out Oscar would face Belair at Night of Champions?
Not what I'm
Again.
referring to. You should know what I'm referring to.
They said that they mentioned Twitter and said exactly what I said last week about there being chilling in her mist.
Also, she fucking missed her.
Yeah, that's kind of funny when you think about it.
Yeah.
Misting somebody with a mist.
Yeah.
Somebody with the mist.
Something which
But
Aaron,
I like how
as
the
Aaron
commentary-
says, Aaron pointed this out last week. She's not been hitting them properly.
Well, no, she hit the one last week properly.
Yeah,
But,
but we was on about previous ones.
Yeah. But this one they've said that it was a warning shot that she missed on purpose.
Yeah, because they're covering themselves up. It's clearly a make good because she's clearly either it's the talent she's doing it to, or she's not able to do it properly. And I don't think it's the latter. I think it's the talent she's doing it to. They're not doing it properly.
No, I think it's more the fact of Belair's worried that it's gonna stain. Bit
Yeah,
of a pride problem, possibly.
it's an ego problem. Is actually what it is.
Probably.
Because not being funny, she's not above being misted.
No.
No, there's no talent who's that good who can be. Oh, I'm too good for that. No, you're not.
I mean, Nakamura got misted in Japan.
Well, to be fair, who misted him?
Yeah, and who did he suck the mist out of to mist back?
Right. Okay, but that's a point there. You got probably the most respected wrestler ever to do misting involved in that match.
I mean, I get that this was cringy and you wanted to use the segue, but can we talk about Selena Vega for a minute?
Oh no, we were going to go back to that part, but I just wanted to touch upon the cringy thing because we talked about cringy and shit, and so we're going to do that part now. We can go back to Vega though, absolutely we can.
She has faced Rhea Ripley and Oscar within a week apart, and she's done fucking brilliant in these matches.
She's underrated, is what Selena Vega is.
Yeah, we've said this for a while. She's on like the same page as Scarlett Bordeaux. She was used as a manager for way too long.
Yeah. No,
It's good to see her back in the ring doing what she's good at.
It's good to see Selena Vega actually wrestle now. If they can only get Scarlett Bordeaux to wrestle.
Oh, we got a mixed tag before, but that was a taste in comparison.
Regularly.
Actually, no, I wouldn't even call that a taste. That was like a little bit of cocktail sausage that somebody left on the plate because they were too full.
If you want to use a really teasing term, it was just the tip.
Sure, but I don't have a death wish and Karrion Kross could watch this.
I'm not scared of Karrion Kross.
That makes one of us.
Yeah.
Unless
I've
he's
seen
wearing the
it.
metal gimp suit. And
I was going to say, I've seen him in a metal gimp suit. I'm not scared of him. So. Because let's be blunt, he is not scary in that suit. He looks stupid.
Yes.
But yeah, I do definitely with Selena. She's got a lot better, and I'm glad to see her wrestling more. Absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
without a doubt.
I mean, the
But yeah,
talents that she's been going against as well, and there's not been any like 5-minute matches. She's been like having proper matches with them as well.
yeah, and that's how you know somebody's decent because the talent can't carry you for that long a period of time in a match
No.
unless you have something. Because if you've not got the ability to actually, your own ability and your own skill, then you are going to get found out doing sort of stuff because you're going to end up missing stuff or stuff's not going to work properly. And you'll know when one person's having to do the bulk of the work in a match, no matter how good they are. There's always signs that it's happening.
Wrestling is one of the WWE is one of the only stages where there is literally nowhere to hide. You either got your craft or you don't.
Yeah.
So,
I was going to say, if you want a good example of what we're talking about, go back and watch Bret Hart matches from 1989 up until 97. Because you'll see the difference in the ability of one opponent having to deal with other opponents who are not as good.
sorry, Undertaker's no, sorry, not Undertaker. John Cena's American the ruthless aggression to Attitude Era. There's a bit of a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, one of them could actually carry their opponents and the other one couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you watch those and you can tell us which one you think it is. I think it's kind of obvious.
I'll give you a clue. It wasn't the one that almost broke Kurt Angle's neck again.
Yeah. But definitely want to see more of Vega, so keep giving us Selena Vega, absolutely.
I'd agree with you, but at the same time, I don't want to get absolutely stuffed full of Vega because then I'd just be sick of seeing her on the screen like I am a certain other faction right now.
Right, but what I mean is make sure you do use her is my point. And don't just have it completely disappear for like 7 weeks or something.
I have a suggestion.
Go ahead.
Because we're going to be talking about this soon anyway. Raquel Rodriguez needs a tag partner. Raquel Rodriguez is Latino. I wonder who could be her partner.
I don't know. Stereotypes.
And I mean, think of the dynamic that team would have.
Little and large.
Yeah, and I mean, the Raquel used to use Liv as a weapon from time to time. I'm sure Zelina wouldn't mind.
No, but that's what you should do in a team like that. If one of the opponents is a lot bigger than, if one of the partners is a lot bigger than the other one, you do that. Even the male wrestling tag teams used to do that in the day because you'd see
Big Show and Mysterio.
Yeah.
Batista and Mysterio.
Yeah, but there were wrestlers that used to do it as well. When Jim Neidhart tagged with Owen Hart, Neidhart used to use Owen Hart as a weapon all the time. He did it frequently.
I mean, I got a really obscure one for you.
Mm-hmm.
Great Khali and Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, it applies because they did do that. So yeah.
Back in the day, Jinder wasn't as big as he is now.
Yeah, Kevin Nash used Rey Mysterio against the TV truck.
Braun Strowman and Ricochet.
There you go. So it can work. So it's a good shout, honestly. I don't think they'll do it, but I think it's a good shout.
I mean, get Raquel Rodriguez in the LWO, make it a tag team thing. And that
Well,
way,
if
if there's a brand split and half of the LWO goes somewhere, they've still got the female component.
Well, if Liv ends up being out for longer than what she's meant to be, then at least it gives her something to do, right?
I mean, we was told 2 weeks, but being as the fact that they've relinquished the titles now, it's probably going to be longer.
Yeah.
I mean, they showed back the clip of Dakota kicking Liv in the face, but I'm not sure what the injury is. Is she filming something, or is she legitimate injury? Because Dakota's out as well.
I can't say. There's a reason that she's not around. Liv Morgan's not around at the moment, but I can't say what it is.
Court case?
No, I said I can't say what it is. I mean, I can't say what it is.
Can you tell me after the show?
Yeah, I just can't
Cool.
say it on air.
Yeah.
For various reasons. So,
Right, following the Oscar and Vega match and everything else that happened, we missed something from before, and that was a in-memory segment of superstar Billy Graham.
yes, for those of you unaware, that happened on Wednesday when he actually died.
Yeah,
It was actually announced during AEW's Dynamite show,
yeah, it was.
which I loved the timing of that, by the way, when they actually did the announcement of that show.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when it was?
After no, it wasn't after Don Callis's speech, because that was at the end of the show.
Uh-huh. If you don't remember, it's all right. I'll tell you what it is anyway.
After the Wardlow and Christian segment?
It was during the Falls Count Anywhere match.
Oh. Well, that makes sense.
When they were fighting by the concessions table and he just hit me with that cream thing, whatever the hell it was, that's when they said it.
Yeah, the ice cream, Mr. Whippy.
Yeah, it's got some weird name in America. Apparently, it's a big American brand, but that's when they actually announced it.
Yeah.
But yeah, but for those of you who have never heard of Billy Graham is the reason why WWE wrestlers are referred to as superstars.
Yeah. He was the original sports entertainer.
Yeah.
As they like to say.
So every sports entertainer since
has been referred to as superstars.
As also it's basically as a result of Billy Graham. So rest in peace, Billy Graham.
And condolences to the family.
Indeed. Unlike you, I'm old enough to remember Billy Graham actually wrestling.
I've watched tape.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually alive when he wrestled. That's what I meant. So yeah, but obviously you can find these matches on YouTube or even on the networks. But I'll give you a hint. If you wonder why Hulk Hogan's gimmick looked the way it did, that's the one. You can work it out there. Look at Billy Graham and look at Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, I can see the resemblance.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Right.
Kind of had Steiner vibes as well.
Yeah, but Scott Steiner specifically came out and said that's who it was in tribute to. He was very upfront about it.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. A homage is fine as long as you actually make it clear what it is.
Yeah.
Just rip off is not a good thing, but a homage is fine. As long as you are honouring the person you're giving a homage to.
Yeah, exactly.
What
Yeah,
you
or the
doing? Speaking. You're baking?
Yeah, you.
Why? I've not got enough butter to bake.
No, you butter.
The butter's not for baking; it's for his balls.
Do I get to eat some bacon?
Hmm?
Eat some bacon?
Possibly.
Right. Anyway, while Aaron's off playing with his bowls and his cooking equipment,
What did you say? Why possibly?
Depends how they come out.
we had a.
Have you finished
Oh,
your
you're back.
No.
No, he just likes playing with stuff when he's online. Are you not aware of this?
Have you had all your bacon?
No.
Why not?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the cooking channel with Aaron.
Why?
I mean, I've done a bit of cooking on my stream, to be fair.
Oh, crunchy.
It's never a bad
Yeah.
idea to occasionally just something a bit different. So.
I mean, I've got the camera, so I mean, like when I'm walking around, it's like literally I've got all this space, and they can still hear me and see me. So, I mean,
I'm not trying to sound pessimistic or anything,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
those
he's-
cake ladders don't last on that
he-
little tray and just explode everywhere.
He uses that same camera for his OnlyFans, which is
Never mind. You will.
which is too
Never
much
mind.
caring with colours.
What do you want me to go out and get cake from tomorrow and stuff?
But
You don't
anyway,
think cake
so we
is
ha-
need kitchen
so unfortunately we had a segment coming up.
because as the sponge cooks, it will flatten out and push the bacon, the liners out.
I very much hated this next segment.
The AJ Styles one or the
Yeah.
Grimes one?
AJ Styles. I didn't particularly like the Grimes one either.
Yeah.
What you could do,
You
Dave,
passed over Street Profits versus LA Knight and Boogs.
That actually happens afterwards, believe it or not.
instead of using the cupcake liners, because it doesn't matter if you make cupcakes right now, use the tiny cake tins that we've got.
No.
And here I was thinking Kelly didn't like tiny. No comeback. Wow. I'm disappointed.
Yeah. I'll do it tomorrow.
Fair enough. So, yeah, I was the goal.
Are we talking about the Karrion Cross and Styles segment, or are we talking about the Grayson Waller effect?
The Waller thing.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I did not like that whatsoever.
I was kind of on the fence about it, because I mean, Waller did what Waller does. He agrees with the person that's on his talk show consistently, and then completely mugs them off at the end.
Yeah, and as you're well aware, I don't like Waller. So,
Yeah, this will probably just end with a feud between AJ and Waller once he loses the championship match at Night of Champions.
yeah, that's the other thing as well. You've got AJ doing this segment because Seth Rollins is buggered off to do God knows what, so you can't build a program with Seth.
So you have to build a program with somebody else that he can fight with after he's lost the title match at Night of Champions.
Yeah. If you're going to do this segment, right, honestly, it should have been the SmackDown that follows Night of Champions. And Waller
Yeah.
could have kind of like outside of his mouth sort of deal where he's like agreeing with him and saying nice things about it, but also slagging off the fact he lost.
I mean, to be honest, I did like the fact that they mentioned NXT here, because it was, as we know, this wasn't the first time that these two have met.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm a big fan of recognizing the past when it comes to this sort of stuff. So yeah, that's at least a good thing, sure.
Thank you, Katie, for the raid. Appreciate you.
But as a whole, I didn't,
100%.
I didn't enjoy the whole thing. But yeah, there were little bits and pieces which were okay, but that's it.
Yeah, I don't know whether or not this is going to end in like a match next week or like after the championship's been done and gone.
I would suspect this is just to fill in for the fact Steph's not there, and this will probably, if there is a match, it'll be after he's lost that match.
Yeah. So we then had Street Profits versus LA Knight and Boogs.
Yeah.
This was thanks to a run-in on the SmackDown talk show last week.
You do realise, sorry, before you go any further, you do realise as a tag team they should be LA Boogie.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So Knight made it known that he wanted titles in WWE, and that meant that the tag titles weren't safe either, and that he planned on carrying his team to victory and then introduce Rick Boogs. Basically just insulting his tag partner before he'd even come out.
Yeah, but that's in character, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Dummy, yeah.
So the funny thing about this was that after Boogs came out and the match started, Boogs started the match. He military pressed Montez Ford and did 10 reps with him. Then Ford tagged in Dawkins, and Dawkins got pump handled, and Boogs did 10 curls with him.
Sure.
And this all led to like a decent enough match and a miscommunication that got Knight knocked off the apron by Boogs, and Boog got the cash out and the from the heavens elbow from Montez Ford for the win.
Yep, and after the match,
Boogs and Knight hugged, but that preluded to a blunt force trauma from Knight to Boogs, which will probably start a feud in the coming weeks.
Yeah, probably.
Leading up to SummerSlam or Money in the Bank, whatever comes first. I can't remember.
Money in the Bank's soon.
Yeah.
Because Money in the Bank is June.
LA Knight's one of the favourites for the Money in the Bank.
If I'm not mistaken, I think Money in the Bank is actually here.
Yes, it is in the UK.
Yeah, exactly.
All tickets are sold out, apparently. Yeah. I've looked on the website.
Oh, fuck it, I'll say. Right. When you configure an arena for a show, right, you put a certain amount of tickets on sale to be sold. Okay? And the allocation you use it up. What happens is you keep a certain amount of seats set aside. They're called house seats.
Yeah.
And if there's a big enough demand, you can release some of those and add them as later on ticket sales. And from what I understand, those seats have not been sold yet for Money in the Bank. So the house seats are still there. They just haven't released them to be purchased.
See, I'd love to go and watch it. My first ever WWE pay-per-view, but I'd much rather put money into going and watching the AEW one.
Yeah. I can understand that. Also, it's a bit of a difference between the O2, which I'm assuming is where Money in the Bank will be, and Wembley Stadium. Just a little difference.
I mean, it actually hit me the other day that there isn't any wrestlers in WWE that I actually genuinely like anymore.
Right. It's bad, isn't it, when you think about that?
I mean, Solo Sikoa was probably the only one, and Pete Dunne.
Yeah.
Look what they did to Dunne, and look where Sikoa is now. I'm not that interested anymore.
Yeah. And if I turned around to Aaron and asked me to give me some AEW wrestlers he liked, he could probably rattle off a list.
Yeah, and some of them have never been in WWE as well.
Yeah. And that's the problem when, as a company, you're trying to attract people to come watch your event. And you've got somebody like Aaron who watches lots of wrestling. Yeah. WWE don't have one actual wrestler that he actually wants to see and enjoys watching.
I used to enjoy watching Finn Balor.
Yeah.
I used to enjoy watching Damian Priest.
And what do they all have in common?
They're now in stupid factions.
Right. They've lost their magic, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where the faction differences matter, right? Because this is WWE making factions, right? Now look at when AEW makes a faction.
I'm sorry, just with
Just
this
saying.
whole new World Championship,
Yeah.
if they knew Rollins was going to be out for this Marvel thing, which they must have fucking done, then he must have asked permission to do it. He couldn't have just got the part and said, well, sorry, guys, I got to be out for fucking umpteenth to so many weeks. Give this opportunity to Balor. Give him the fucking, title run that he should have got with the Universal Championship.
Actually, when it comes to smaller parts like that, it can be very last minute.
And another thing, I'd much rather watch AJ Styles versus Finn Balor than Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles again.
Yeah. From what I understand, though, the Rollins thing in the Captain America movie isn't that much of a part, so he's not in it that much. It's not like what happened with Roman Reigns when he did Hobson Shaw, for example.
No, so he's probably just holding the door open for Captain America on his way out of the office.
Something like that. But Reigns is in a substantial portion of that last section of that movie. So that you can see why he was away for as long as he was to film that movie.
So was Cobb from Ring of Honor.
Right, exactly. But then you've got Rollins, who's only going to be like 2-3 weeks because his part was smaller. So when the smaller parts, you can be very last minute, because it could be a case of somebody just had an idea and went, we can try and get him if we can get him involved in this. It can help with our promotion and stuff. And they probably went to WWE very last minute and went, could we approach him to be in one of our films? And that is probably what it was, honestly. Because unless somebody's going to be a big part of the movie, then it tends to be very last minute when it comes to people like a wrestler appearing or a fighter appearing. But it does kind of cause an issue for the current program, especially when you're trying to unveil a brand new title, which I think probably the title had less preparation for it than what Marvel did for coming to ask them to have Rollins in that movie did. And I still think that movie probably had a very short preparation time to come and ask WWE for it to be in it. But I think it had more put into it than that title did.
It's not hard.
That's kind of my point.
So, anyway, following that, we had a Grimes interview, which was weird. Grimes was hyped up about nothing. And, well, Grimes was hyped up about his win, fastest win in WWE history, but nothing came of that segment. We didn't see Corbin lay him out or something. It was blank empty.
And that was my problem with it. It didn't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a new talent, you're trying to bring it on, he wins a match, and then you do nothing.
Hmm. So, following that, Karrion Kross said a load of garble and then targeted AJ Styles using his in real life name as well, not AJ Styles. He called him Alan.
For no reason.
Yeah, I mean, this probably confused a few people who didn't know AJ's real name.
Yeah. But here's the thing about that. If you can use a wrestler's real name, it should be like an intense personal feud, not just a throwaway thing like this was. This was fucking stupid for this exact reason.
They've had feuds before
But this,
elsewhere.
but this isn't a personal, intense feud, is my point. It's not like a blood feud. But if this had been when AJ and Samoa Joe were feuding, you remember back a while ago when obviously Joe was still in WWE, they had that big feud with each other, right? And it got very personal. Joe was going to his house and shit, right? If Joe had called him that then, fine. It makes sense. They got very personal, very, and very like emotional. That's not what this was, though. This was just, oh, I think I'm going to be edgy and cool and just call him by his name. Fuck off.
Following that, we had the NXT Women's Tag Champions Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn versus an NXT Tag Team with Valentina Feroz and Yulisa Leon. This was strange because Leon's been out with an injury for a number of months, and this was her return. They were on main roster, and they was not drafted to SmackDown, so this made no sense to me, really.
Yeah.
It feels like local talent cancelled and they had to call the PC for a replacement.
You've kind of touched on my issue with this. This is an
Yeah.
NXT match. Why is it here?
And this was a returning match for Leon as well. So, Alba Fyre and Isla Dawn won with their finisher move, which is called, what's it called, Peter? The double team finishing maneuver?
I don't remember.
You know what Michael Cole called it?
God knows.
An STO into a side Russian leg sweep.
I try not to think about Michael Cole.
He didn't do his research and he didn't know the name of the finisher.
Oh, Aaron, does that really surprise you at this point?
No, but it's stupid.
Of course it is. It's your job. You should know what these moves are called, right?
So I get it when Graves turns around and says like something honest, like he didn't remember the guys' names because he didn't think they'd be in the ring long enough. Fair enough, but these are your women's tag team champions.
There's also a difference, by the way, okay? Because Cole's but Cole's the play-by-play commentator, right? He's supposed to know this stuff. Graves is the color guy. The color guy doesn't need to know all the moves. The color guy is there to have an opinion.
I'd like to actually state here as well that Graves does know the majority of the moves because he used to be a wrestler anyway.
Right, but that's not his job as a commentator. His job as a commentator is to give an opinion. That's what the color commentator is there for. It's the play-by-play guy's job to know what the moves are. Or you can do what AEW do and have two play-by-play guys and have an ex-wrestler as the color guy. So everyone knows the moves.
Yeah. I mean, this was crap.
Yeah.
Match was fine. Like, understood that the champions were going to win this anyway, but the people that they were against and the fucking lack of commentator capability is just fucking shit.
Yeah, this was not good. It had nothing to do with the talent. This was purely a production and a booking thing.
We also then found out finally, like basically at the end of the show, that in 2 weeks there'd be a fatal four-way to crown new women's tag team champions, as Liv was out injured thanks to Dakota Kai. And Damage Control laughed about this and challenged Gonzalez to a match with her new tag partner next week, if she could find one.
Oh, hello. I didn't know who you were. Hello.
Just this. Okay, I'll say it. Why is this women's tag team championship not being defended at Night of Champions?
One, two, three. Booking!
I'm glad I didn't say it because I was going to say something else.
Okay, we can do the other count then, okay? We'll do the count for you. I'll do the count and you say what you're going to say, right? 1, 2, 3.
Equality. That was the most politest way I could have said it.
And we can both do an equal one at the same time. This one's much easier. 1, 2, 3. Bullshit!
Vagina. Oh.
Yeah, that too. Vaginas, yes. A vagina.
Vagina.
If you have a vagina, you're not allowed to be equal, apparently. In Saudi Arabia, anyway.
It makes you
Well,
laugh considering that
at least in Saudi Arabia,
are over there, possibly.
Sorry?
I don't know who they hate more over there, though. Women or Syrians? I guess Sami Zayn will find out soon enough.
I have one for you. A Syrian woman.
I don't think they do that for their religion.
No, that was the joke.
Yeah.
That's how bad it is. They have to turn to Christ.
Jesus. Just saying we're not racist or sexist. It's just comedic values.
Yeah, to be very clear here, we have none of those things because, for one, I'm too old to have that kind of have those sort of opinions because it's those opinions are for the young and stupid. And in Aaron's case, it'd be kind of weird if you had those opinions.
It would, wouldn't it?
Yeah, just the bit, yeah. Because yes, ladies and gentlemen, I'll announce it here for the first time ever. Aaron is of Syrian descent.
Hmm?
So, Aaron, how does it feel to come out as a Syrian?
No.
Why are you denying yourself being Syrian, Aaron?
Because I burn like a fucking Irishman.
Is that why you're ginger?
I'm not ginger, you bastard.
Is that why you have no soul?
No, I gave that to my ginger best friend in primary school for an ice cream.
And people think he's joking. That's a true story, by the way.
Who was your ginger best friend?
Connor Lewis.
Expect tears. Violent sobbing.
Okay.
Like nose sniffling. Sobbing.
Probably do that every other night in your sleep. You're alright, don't worry.
No. No. This is Derek Shepherd. I'm just about to watch Die. and the song "How to Save Your Life" is going to be on, and I'm going to be sobbing my heart out because it's not just Derek Shepherd that's watching Diet. It's going to be Mrs. Nan reliving that I'm going to be crying about. Have faith.
Okay. Let me know what colour the car is.
Well, the cop cars have literally just turned up at Meredith's door, so he's already dead. But I don't actually not relived it yet, so you know.
Smashing. No.
Spoilers.
No,
Spoilers.
I'm not.
You're not watching Grey's Anatomy too, are you?
No, I'm just saying spoilers for the people on the internet who may be watching it. So spoilers.
I don't like Grey's Anatomy.
I've never watched it. It's not my thing, but at the same time, I understand there are people out there who watched it. So to be honest, when that was on, House was on, and I preferred House. So
Never watched House.
that's fair enough. You don't have to. But I'm
I've
just
watched
explaining.
Bones.
Sorry?
I've watched Bones.
Bones is good. I like Bones.
I've watched Body of Proof.
Didn't see that one.
It's good. It's on Disney Plus. You should give it a watch.
It's Disney Plus. That kind of discounts it immediately because it's on Disney Plus.
It's only on Disney Plus because it was on 5-star.
I'm sure it was, but anything that goes towards Disney, I'm not paying for. So you know.
Yeah, it's the same with Prime Energy drinks for me.
Yeah, in Disney's case, it's the fact that they think it's okay to support the sexualization of young children.
What else is new?
Yeah, it's kind of a big deal when your business specializes at family entertainment.
Let's not go into the slavery side of things, shall we?
Oh, there's that too, yeah.
Okay, so following...
We've had the women's tag match with the NXT ladies.
Yes, we did. Following that, we had Austin Theory, who came out to the ring and said, "Welcome to Austin Theory Live." And started whining about losing his triple threat last week to be in the final for the...
Can anybody guess what my favourite part of what's about to happen was?
Oh, this was my favourite segment from the entire show. Like, actually, probably including matches.
Yeah.
Actually, no, not including matches.
And what do you think was my favourite part of this segment?
The mic drop. Or watching Theory's teeth go into like the 5th row.
That's the one right there.
Yeah. So Austin Theory came out, said, "Welcome to Austin Theory Live." Started whining about losing his triple threat last week. Said he had things in common with both Lashley and Sheamus, saying that he was tough, they were tough, he was strong, they were strong, and they've all beaten John Cena. But he did it in like the past year, whereas they did it about 9 years ago. Basically calling Sheamus old. And that drew the ire of Sheamus.
Yeah, the problem with that argument that he has right there, he beat Cena, right, to retain his belt, right? When Sheamus beat Cena, he became the world champion.
Yeah. So this basically was Theory calling Sheamus old.
Yeah.
And
no, Derek, look up, Derek.
That drew the ire of Sheamus. He came out, went to grab a microphone. Theory said, "Oh, you've got something to say, have you?" And as he turned around, he got the swift touch of a nice brogue kick to the face.
Yes, he did.
Sheamus looked up, looked down, looked back up, dropped the mic, and walked back to the stage.
Yeah.
And per general manager, who isn't a general manager, Adam Pearce, next week there will be a United States Championship match held between Sheamus and Austin Theory. Why isn't this at Night of Champions?
That was going to be my question too, yeah.
Unless this is going to be a DQ and then they're going to make it so that way we're going to have to watch it again at Night of Champions.
Well, if they make the match into a DQ and then have the match in Saudi Arabia have a stipulation so it can't be a DQ, then there's a way around that.
If it's DQ, then Sheamus wins anyway.
Yeah, or some reason why it can't be a DQ finish.
I'll make it a Falls Count Anywhere match and have a double count out.
That's dangerous in Saudi Arabia. You sure you want to do that?
Could be worse. Could be asking Sammy and Kevin to have that match.
That's a good point. Also, if Sammy and Kevin end up having a match in Saudi, if it does happen, don't have deathmatch rules. The Saudis might take it a bit too literal.
I'd question like the integrity of the security at the arena as well. If I was Sami Zayn, I would not feel safe.
I would bring my own bloody security, honestly. Or better yet, don't fucking go.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's always good fun to watch Fury get his teeth kicked in, though. Big fan of that.
To be honest, I can see WWE working that match differently. Like have Zion Quinn fly over with the bloodline as well. Roman and Sikoa go out to the ring. KO comes out, and then as Sammy's music hits, there's ginger like hair, or like there's a guy laying on the floor with ginger hair, and Zion Quinn standing there with a chair. But the ginger guy's got his back to us, and like that's supposed to be Zayn, but it's obviously not.
You could always just pre-record something like that. It wouldn't actually have to be out there.
Yeah, that's true.
But I get your point. That is definitely a way around it if he ends up not going. So depends what happens.
That left us with a 12-minute main event.
Yeah, and again, I will do my regular complaint about this. If it's a match, fuck off with your 12-minute main events. It should be at least 20.
I'd actually like to say, like, well fucking done to Mysterio, Escobar, and the Usos on this one.
Sure.
'Cause even though it was a 12-minute main event, it didn't feel like it was 12 minutes. They put everything they could into this match, even the fucking kitchen sink. One of the best matches I've watched, tag team wise, in a long time.
Yeah, but you've got 4 wrestlers who know what the fuck they're doing.
Yeah.
That's why that works. But you're not going to have a match where that's always going to be the case. So you can't have a 12-minute main event like that and expect them all to work, because they're not going to.
But
obviously this one did, so
yeah, and the Usos lost.
Yeah, and do you know what that means, of course, ladies and gentlemen?
NWO finally got a win.
LWO, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the one. Sorry. Slip of the tongue.
It's all right. But yeah, actual proper major win for the LWO, and it's probably the first one as a faction. So obviously this has been done in service to the angle with the bloodline, of course, but you can serve 2 masters with something. You can help the LWO get over by also having Usos lose to help with that too. So you can do both things and have them work. They're not mutually exclusive to each other.
No.
But the question, of course, that the Usos will be the ramifications of the fact they lost.
Yeah, I mean, KO and Zayn did interfere.
Yeah.
Caused the distraction for the win, which obviously helps with the storyline, but didn't take away much from the match, which I liked.
Yeah, it was interference, but not in what you'd call...
like spades.
Yeah,
It was kind of like a Latino kind of vibe to it, really. Lie, cheating, and stealing.
yeah. I think Ray lent them the Eddie Guerrero playbook.
Yeah.
So yeah,
The only thing that was missing was a fake steel chair shot.
well, can't have
Well,
everything all at once.
after the match ended, the Usos were left stood in the ring, and it showed Roman watching backstage. Sikoa actually went to get up, and Roman stopped him and said something that was inaudible, and we couldn't really tell what he said. It looked like Sikoa was going to go and like beat up
Do
either
something.
Sammy and Kevin or
Yeah.
the Usos. Hard to tell which.
Well, I think that might have been the reason for that, because it ends
Yeah.
up ambiguity of just who exactly was he going to go to.
hmm I still think that it would be better if Zion Quinn teamed up with Solo Sikoa and went for the tag titles instead of Reigns doing it. So at least that way Reigns could fucking defend his title at Night of Champions.
I mean, he should be defending his title, but obviously he's not going to. But I'm going to give a little preview of what I think may happen in that tag match, if it does happen, of course.
Mm,
I think Sammy and Owens retain, and I think it will happen because the Usos interfering backfires.
probably. And then that will cause the implosion of the bloodline.
Yeah. Or at the very least, their interference causes Sikoa to get pinned, specifically Sikoa, and then it makes him explode at them.
And then probably a brand new lineup of Bloodline on SmackDown the following week, including Quinn.
Well, it does give you the options as well, because you have that, and you also have the possibility of Roman still trying to keep everything in order, and it sort of starts crumbling.
Yeah.
So there are ways this can go if you want to do it, and you can do it properly.
I mean, the reason why I say that as well is Quinn stopped commenting on Bloodline stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Then, when like a faction or a new member, like a team is announced, there's usually hush hush from the person that it's going to be.
Yeah, but some people like fucking with the internet.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, CM Punk.
Yeah, we're just getting punked.
So, but there's definitely options for it to go to, and we'll see how it pans out. But that was the end of SmackDown,
Mm-hmm.
which does mean Aaron needs to give us a rating for SmackDown.
I gave it an 8.
Yeah, favoritism, because his favorite tag team's on the show, so of course it's going to score more. Yeah,
It was mostly for the tag match in the main event.
that's fair enough. On a serious note, that's understandable. So there you go. So
Street
that is
Profits match wasn't bad either. Vega and Oscar was great. And of course the Theory segment was mwah.
Yeah. Kind of agree with you. It was probably the best thing on the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of like lost things, like the NXT Women's Champions, for instance.
Yeah, I suspect you're right, though. I suspect it was there because something happened, so something could take place. I'm guessing it was a filler.
And I don't think some of them. I don't think either of those tag teams need any more filler. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I meant this from the spot
I
the
was,
show.
I was
Not
joking.
them.
I was joking.
You're such a bitch.
No.
Cat fight. Oh, but there you go. So that now brings us to the after part for reflection. So this is where we ask Aaron. So, what was Aaron's favourite actual thing of the week?
I don't think I've had one.
Okay.
I'd say if I had to choose a moment that affected me the most, like gave me a chill down my spine or something, when Hangman and the Elite joined forces.
Oh, okay.
I knew it was going to happen.
Oh, I actually knew it was going to happen. Yeah.
But like, I was like, eh. But it at the same time it kind of gave me chills because like obviously when I first started watching AEW, Kenny had not long turned on Hangman.
Right.
So like it was something that I never thought was going to happen. I was just like, oh, I wish I could have seen them as a tag team. It would have been really good.
Well,
And now I'm getting shocked.
because obviously that's where we differ. Because obviously I saw AEW from its inception and before, so I saw them as a team and all that stuff before. So
Yeah.
But I'm curious as to if you're going to look forward to the match they're going to have at Double or Nothing.
Anarchy in the Arena.
Yeah.
I've already seen one.
Yeah, but it's the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
That's going to get painful.
I can't because I know Fact's going to be his last one, and I'm actually sobbing right now.
So, Also, an example of a stipulation that happened in a match is going to get paid off. That Claudio match against Phoenix, so had that stipulation to it. The tag match for the belt is this Wednesday on Dynamite.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. Be interesting to see what the outcome is, especially considering that they're fighting the Elite.
Yeah.
At Double or Nothing.
I mean, they are the Ring of Honor belts, and there's always a possibility the Elite get involved too. So,
to be honest, if Claudio picked Danielson, they could do a Double or Nothing Anarchy in the Arena winner takes all. Because Utah's got the Pure Wrestling, Claudio's got the World Wrestling Ring of Honor title, and if they get the tag Ring of Honor belts as well.
Exactly, but look at who he picked though.
Yeah, Utah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the guy that he's tagged with the most. So, yeah, I mean,
I wasn't surprised because the one I was pretty sure it wasn't going to be was Moxley.
I mean, I was pretty sure that it wasn't going to be Danielson. But he's been the mouthpiece more than anything. He seems to be taking much of a back seat as of late.
Well, there's a couple of reasons for that. One of which is he's also involved in the booking now as well. So we'll see how that goes. But he did a pretty good job when he was involved in WWE. So we'll see how that progresses. But I also think it's probably better for him as well because obviously then he doesn't have to wrestle so often, which I do think is a good thing, honestly, for Danielson.
Yeah, and I mean, it's less chance of getting re-injured.
Yeah.
As long as he's staying in ring shape.
which he probably is, but it just means he's not having to take like bumps all the time and stuff, which I think is a good thing for him.
Uh-huh. I mean, he's a like household name in any wrestling family's home. So like, he's got nothing to prove really anymore. That's what I'm saying.
Well, he shouldn't do, yeah. Well, I've got to say the moment of the week which is like the most duh moment of the week has got to be the end of that Falls Count Anywhere match.
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Everyone bloody did. That's why it was the duh.
As soon as they went through the crowd, it's like, oh, they're going outside.
Yeah. The thing is, what I found with some people thought it'd actually be the JS out there.
Well, I was like, I knew that it was going to go either way, but I kind of had a feeling it was going to be Adam Cole, because they did exactly the same bloody work in NXT with the Undisputed Era.
Yeah. I'm glad. I actually am glad Brooke Strong won the match though.
Oh yeah, me too.
It tells you something about Jericho though.
He believes in them more than WWE did.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
Jericho does not have to do that at all.
No, and he's not one to put new talent over unless he sees something in them.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's doing it. He's been doing it quite freely recently. I mean, he did it against Action Andrade.
To be fair, if you've seen Action Andretti wrestle, you understand why he did it.
Yeah, and Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
Who's like the Rock light, basically.
Yeah. I'd agree with that, sure. But do you know
He's
what
a
I really
205. He's a 205 Dwayne Johnson.
essentially, yeah. I would actually agree with that, yeah. What I did enjoy though is because when they announced that we'd hear from Don Callis, I was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Because
I'm just glad they got interrupted because
it's common knowledge. I hate Don Callis. I don't like hearing from him. It's just So
yeah, perfect for a main segment, wasn't it?
Yeah, the fact that ended so abrupt, it's like, thank fuck for that. So, yeah. But it's of course this Wednesday is the Go Home show
Mm,
for Double or Nothing.
yeah.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a night because
Yeah.
I've been very busy today. I haven't slept much at all. Just about 3 hours.
Yeah. No worries. Again, I can kind of tell anyway. So
my concentration's not here.
I know I can tell because you're starting to wander on me. So yeah, I was about to mention so after that little bits and pieces, but yeah. So guys, as long as nothing comes up, see you here next Sunday. Aaron will see you for his regular streams, of course.
Yep.
So
tomorrow, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday.
Exactly. So if you're getting quick enough on the one tomorrow, it's a random day, so you guys get to like tell him what you want.
Yep. As long as you're doing, that's the only caveat.
There you go. So just bear that one in mind, people. So, and the other streams there'll be history of them, so you'll know what they are, and there'll be one usually Sunday morning UK time, and then later in the day, obviously it's usually this show. So there you go. Anything else you need to tell the people at all, Aaron?
No, I don't think so. July's the next charity month in aid of the Army Benevolent Fund, which is a charity that goes towards bereaved families of lost soldiers and supporting them through like counselling and stuff like that. So apart from that, I don't really have anything else news wise. Yeah, I think that's everything.
Oh, well, there you go. You guys keep your eyes out for when that happens, of course. Aaron, you check out Aaron streams as well. Keep an eye on him. You know,
Yeah.
if you want to get involved, get involved. Even just sharing stuff helps, of course, as well.
Yeah, obviously, as we're getting closer to the wedding, there might be times where I have to cancel things last minute to do other things. So please just bear that in mind. It's not that I don't want to stream for you guys and keep to my schedule. It's that I'm having to like the wedding's the priority for me.
Yeah, look at it this way, people. If you've ever had to organise a big event of any kind, you kind of know the kind of things that's going to happen. So it's not always going to be possible to stick to a timetable.
Yeah. I can guarantee you guys that I will make up for any stream that I miss with one on either the day after or like an extended stream at a certain time. Like I might do like a 12-hour instead of like doing a 6-hour like the previous weeks. Just do like two streams worth of streams.
Yeah, you'll always get your streams, people. Just maybe not in the order you're used to if that happens. But don't worry, you won't go short. Aaron will take care of you all.
I mean, it's gonna be very can't think of the word.
Chaotic, hectic.
No, very biological, I guess you could say. But it's going to be very like fresh and on your toes thinking about it. Like,
Spontaneous.
yeah, spontaneous, I suppose. But there's going to be like a basic plan, but it's going to be like it's going to be as close to the plan can be without making heads roll elsewhere.
Yeah, there will be a certain degree of flexibility involved here because it can't be rigorous because of what's going to be happening.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just keep an eye out for announcements and stuff, people, as well, because obviously, as best you can, obviously, he will try and let you know if there's going to be something like that as well. But obviously, do bear in mind there is warnings going to be given, of course, as well when streams that Aaron does. So if it does happen, then you know it's a possibility during this period where Aaron and Caleb are trying to sort out and prepare for said wedding. And I believe said wedding is going to be possibly streamed if enough of you keep nagging.
Yeah, I believe it is.
So,
obviously, anybody who pisses around in chat, my mod's gonna be in there, so there won't be timeouts. There will be bans.
yeah. So just bear that one in mind, people. Behave yourselves and be good. Have a good time, but behave yourselves.
It's literally moderator's discretion. So if they know that you're joking, then it's fine. If they think you're not joking, you'll get a timeout. If you're being flat out rude, then you'll be banned.
Context matters.
If you have any problems with that, message me after the wedding. Let me know what you said, and I'll talk to my moderator about it and see what they say. And depending on who I believe, it'd be dependent on who stays.
Yeah, so basically, it'd be like a content review sort of thing. So, and then it'll be decided that way. But as long as you guys are like the respectful, and it's just fun, I don't think you're going to have any issues, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that, do you want to say goodbye to the Twitchies first, or not? What do you want to do?
Got one viewer. Let's just have a look real quick. Have I got any notifications to tell me who's live right now? Jesus Christ, I've got loads of notifications. Fuck, I just got rid of all my Twitch notifications.
So yeah.
Sorry, I'm just really trying to. I can't make my PC load up any quicker than it wants to.
Well, it's technology, people. Weird stuff happens. So
no, I don't want that one. I want that one, for fuck's sake.
yeah,
And that's
technology,
just
ladies and
fine.
gentlemen. Don't you love it?
It's because I'm running OBS in the background, and that's taking up all the RAM and FPS.
Right.
So all the time that I've got another tab open, it's taken away from the main tab.
No worries. I mean, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, as far as you all the viewers go, I can literally just shut off the live stream anytime I want, but I prefer to get Aaron to do it this way if possible, because that way it can be beneficial to someone.
I mean, there's only one viewer, but it's still a viewer.
Yeah.
Alright, okay, we're gonna say good boy.
Sorted?
Kind of. 2 seconds.
No worries. So while that's been going on, guys, Aristocats dealing with the Twitch guys. I would deal with the YouTube guys. So I will say goodbye to you guys now. So when Aaron put back on, I've been frozen, then he can let you know. We will see you next Sunday for more fun and games. And in the meantime, you can check out Aaron's Twitch channel for streams. And that's that, really. Just going to wait a few minutes just to see if Aaron does come back while we're being just frozen. It disappeared. There we go. So, yeah, Aaron has disappeared. It can't be out. Anyway. In which case, people, I'll say goodbye for both of us and see you soon. Bye.